Wednesday night Sports Delight, the platform Sports Talk show. There we go. The music is gone, but we right here.
My head to that beat. I'm like,
You know
yeah.
that thing be hit, that thing be bopping. You know what I'm saying? It is your boy Smooth.
And your girl Bunny,
When it's about sports
it becomes our business.
and business continues to pick up, and it's up, and it's up, and it's stuck. What's going on with you?
It's up and it's stuck. All right.
Hey, it's been stuck for 4 years now. I'm just saying.
Oh,
Four.
pretty darn good, sir. You had a wonderful show last week. Shout out
Yes,
to the whole
yes.
panel you had on here celebrating your 4 year anniversary.
Man, it was such an incredible anniversary show. Yes, for those watching for the first time, the platform Sports Talk show has gone down consistently every Wednesday. Sometimes even on Thursday when we had, a little special edition shows. But for the last 4 years of us just bringing you great content, great interviews, great debates, great everything, because that's what we do. We're not here to compete with nobody. We just want to go ahead and just show our love for what we do, which is talk about sports. And we have special guests. If you go to our page on Facebook, on Twitter, on YouTube, you'll see all of our previous shows. Just check it out. I'm just saying, you're going to see a lot of great guests that we've had on the show. You're going to love the interviews we had. It was to the point, people, that we had, and I meant to say this last week, talk about our favorite moments and everything, Bunny, but I forgot to mention it. But we had Guy Torrey on the show, and he never, this man has done thousands and thousands of interviews, been on a lot of shows, whether it's sports shows, whatever it is. But we never had, he never cried doing an interview until he was on our show. Because what we do is we ask those questions, you know what I'm saying? We dig deep, Stan be like, dang, you getting in real deep. But sometimes that's what people want to see, man. That's what draws people, because they can relate to it. Recall how Devin Alexander, a few months ago, we had no idea that he was going through like depression and suicidal thoughts and, stuff like that during his time where he was getting money. You know what I'm saying? So it's so important for us to get people's stories told. And tonight, it does not change, as we have a great guest coming up within the next half an hour to an hour. So while we are discussing things right now, take this time to share, whether you're on Facebook, whether you're on Twitter, you're on YouTube. Share this stream, like it, follow us on all the different pages on your screen. Share it to your people, because this is going to be another great show. Do not hesitate, people, to comment. If you're on Facebook, once again, if you are on Facebook only, you want to leave a comment, you have to comment under the platform Sports Talk Show, and then your comments will be showing on the left side of your screen. So you'll be famous and shown all around the country, y'all. All right? Because this
You're on
show,
Facebook all around the world, too.
hey, exactly. This show is broadcast all around the world. So take the opportunity now, y'all, for your next couple hours to be seen, to be famous. Let's interact. Let's have a good time with it. Of course, about sports. But also, Bunny, if you're ready, also, especially on YouTube, make sure y'all subscribe. Click on that,
Yeah.
because anytime we go live,
You will be notified.
there it is. Let me go ahead and step up my 1800 Black Cherry Edition. I see Bunny repping LU.
Yeah, a little something for the Blue Tigers. Shout out.
Have y'all
Oh,
had? Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, go ahead.
I was gonna ask, have y'all had anything recently come up to the school and everything? Not saying that you're in school right now, like you still taking classes. I ain't saying all that. But have you heard of anything popping recently, or has things still been kind of quiet because of the pandemic?
At campus, they did do a small little spring fest. That's something week of activities similar to homecoming, but without all the alumni and those alumni activities. So they did have it, but it was smaller and for the students only. No concert though. But they also had a tour bus from Kansas City and St. Louis to go up there to try to expose more students to Lincoln University's campus. Because even though it's HBCU, you would think like all black students in Missouri would know about it. Surprisingly, there's still students that don't know. They have two HBCUs in Missouri, Aristotle and Lincoln. So yeah, they're still doing tours, but like I said, it's limited, and some stuff is virtual as well. So the coach.
Yeah. And it's crazy after all these years. I probably gonna lose my black card again, but I still ain't been to Lincoln University, man. I still have not been. Every time I had an opportunity to go to Lincoln University, something has always came up. Whether there's a gig here or I had to work this, whatever. Something has always came up. And then I was supposed to have had a gig there during the same weekend that Megan Thee Stallion was going to be there as well, like doing the whole homecoming thing, and that got canceled like the week prior to going up there. I'm like, come on, I'm trying to get to LU and see what the hype is about, but let's see. Stanley says bring the gig to LU. Hey,
talking to you.
Make that happen. Okay, we can make that happen.
Actually, be one of the guest DJs because they all need DJs the week of homecoming. Different stuff that go on, not just the weekend events, the weekdays. Because they have talent shows and some depending on what the concert is, step show. They all need DJs for those events.
Hey, you already know. It's already behind you. You already know. I'm ready. As you see there, bam, right there, DJing. Let's go. I got y'all. Holla at me. Let's make it happen.
Other than that, since Stanley just commented, a shout out. He just celebrated his alphaversary yesterday. I think it's 14 years, if I'm not mistaken. So congratulations to him and his ship. That's 14 years alpha.
He says Wednesday is coronation, then after party. After the show, it's the after party. Let's go.
Oh my goodness. So yeah, what's going on in your world? What you been keeping up with in the crazy world of sports? What's been going on with you?
Man, everything has been good. He got some more comments here. He says Thursday is toga party, then the after party. Whew. Lincoln, let's go. Turn up is real. I'm about to turn 21 again real quick.
Oh my gosh.
Friday, no school. Then after, I see all these after parties. That's the part that's getting me every damn day. I'm saying after party, man. But y'all, sports wise, man, just glad that, and I was talking to our guest about it, with the pandemic and everything going on. It's just good to have sports back and fans are coming back. Like I think last week, 2 weeks ago, the Lakers and Clippers were finally able to have fans in the stands. It's slowly but surely getting back to normal. People who are watching the show, what are your thoughts about sports getting back to normal? Because recall that, 3 months, we didn't have nothing.
Actually, and funny thing, this week, this time last year is when the Last Dance premiered. First 2 episodes.
Yeah. And you talking about some must see.
Dead sports, and it came right on time.
I mean, that's special has so many memes and gifs. Saw Jordan in a whole different light. People like, well, damn. But, it was great to see something like that to have the world to see, especially for the younger generation who are used to the Kobe's and the LeBrons, but didn't know where their inspiration, what I'm saying, came from, and why so many people always think best basketball player, most global, most known, Jordan, not just for the shoes, but overall for what he brought to the game. Speaking of shoes, yesterday it was discussed, well, not discussed, but it was brought out that Nike and Kobe Bryant's family ended all the contract has ended with Nike after so many years. Looks like Nike was not trying to give Kobe that legacy deal like they gave Jordan, like they gave LeBron. And then for what I'm seeing is that Kobe Bryant's plan And you know how he is, cause you saw what he did when he had that Oscar for that great short story that he did.
Right.
He's like Jay-Z. Like he has a plan. You know what I'm saying? He had things coming up. So when he got done with basketball, okay, I'm about to get into directing. I'm about to get into this. So the plan, from what I'm reading, was that he planned on having his own signature shoe outside of Nike. And, pretty much to be affordable for other people, other players, and people in general just to have. But unfortunately, the untimely passing, and once again, Nike didn't want to cover, have a legacy deal, a lifetime deal. But I have a feeling that the Bryant family is going to make something happen, and something will be done right, and his legacy will continue to live on. We have a few comments here from, I like the name, Badass Vegan, says Jordan. Says Jordan planned this all put to release the series. Yeah, Jordan, exactly. Great people plan things. You know what I'm saying? They don't just put out that bomb. That's it. Like, remember when Beyonce came out with Lemonade all of a sudden? Like, it just dropped at midnight. Like, whoa, where did this come from? And recall back in our high school days, you had spots like Street Side Records and, whatever else.
Midnight. Dropping at midnight.
Yeah,
Oh.
you saw those big old posters coming out on June 13th, whatever. But now you just dropping stuff, just like, bam, there you go. Stanley says Jordan's Nike deal was a fluke. They didn't expect Jordan to take off the way it did. Exactly, because remember in Jordan, he didn't even want to sign with Nike. He wanted to join.
And that was only his what? That was his second season when he approached him, or was that his rookie season?
Man, I want to say rookie season.
And it was a gamble because Nike was just trying to enter into the sneaker market like that. Converse had everything on lock.
Right.
So, that was a good gamble that paid off, and the rest is history.
We got a comment from LaShonda Connor. She says, "Hey y'all, hey LaShonda,
hey,
what's happening? Hey, what's going on? Make sure that you share this post right now with the people. Show Bunny some love." And she loves the shirt.
Bunny is the #1 lawyer in Missouri and state of Georgia. I told y'all that's your legal plug right there.
That's what it do. That's what it do. She says she loved the shirt as well.
Right, because she got the same shirt too.
Hey, let's go. And then let's see. Donald Williams says rookie season for sure in regards to when Jordan was offered that contract. LaShonda says, okay.
Hey, when I say for her to be 5 feet, literally 5 feet, and still always crunking him, hey, when we was in Houston, hilarious.
Yep. Stanley says that Nike wasn't into basketball. Nike's forte was track shoes. Exactly. But Jordan changed the game, and that's what great players do. They change your mindset. Like, wait a minute. This could set up a whole new market, and look what happened now.
If Nike would have given that deal to the #2 player in his draft, which was Bowie, it would have been a bust.
Hey, those shoes would have broke like Sam Bowie did.
Exactly. So Nike got a good gamble and a good ROI on their return. Like I said, the rest is history, and all that he's been banking. He's able to purchase and be majority owner of his own NBA team. We see D Wade got a little minority ownership in the Jazz. And hopefully former players of the NBA could start doing that as well.
Yep.
Earn their way to the ownership.
And Donald, you are correct. His mama made him meet with Nike. Like, no, you're gonna talk with him and see what's happening, because you know how us young men, you can't be stuck in our own ways. No, I only want this. I only want that. She was like, baby, you gonna take your ass up to Nike? And thank you, mama. Because that's one of the best decisions you made. Is that how your mom
talked to you when you was in your early 20s?
I was like, yes, ma'am. Okay. Let's see. Badass Vegan says, shout out to the fellow HSSC alumni. There we go. Yep. And shouts out Harris-Stowe State College. That's where I went.
University now.
Yeah, you're right. Harris-Stowe State University.
Got a new president. He just did his little inauguration like a week or two ago.
And speaking of inaugurations and celebrations and everything like that, shouts out to Tashara Jones.
Yeah, shout out to my soror.
Hold things down
First
for the ladies.
Woman mayor.
Making it happen. Let's see. Donald says, I think North Carolina wore Adidas at the time, and now they're Team Jordan. Then Stanley says, funny LeBron story. LeBron was about to sign with Adidas at first, because his high school was sponsored by Adidas, so he had those Adidas on. But he didn't because Adidas changed the contract figures at the last minute. That's what happens, man.
They lost. But think about it. Kobe had signed with Adidas at first, remember?
Yeah.
He was Adidas first until he finally switched to Nike.
And Kobe also had like one of the damn worst shoes ever invented in life. Those little boat Noah Ark looking shoes that he had on, looking like some damn RoboCop shoes. I'm like, Kobe, what the hell is this?
But see, you know what? Sometimes when they get their first contract for these shoes contracts, they're not over creative designs, or they don't always get approval. Sometimes the contracts have it, but when you first at it, a lot of times you don't get that much creative control. And that's probably why they look whack. He didn't get a lot of say in it. But then on when he started booming with Nike and all that, it's like, oh, okay. Same thing with LeBron.
Yep.
D-Wade, C3, Russell Westbrook, all of them with Nike, well, specifically Air Jordan / Nike.
That's correct. So we're going to get right back into some more NBA talk in a second. But we want to go ahead and bring in our baseball and hockey insider, talk a little bit about some Cardinals and other baseball stuff and maybe some blues stuff as well. So let's go ahead and bring in.
They're giving us the blues.
Right. Let's go ahead and bring in Joe. Joe, how are you doing?
Jobo.
I'm doing good. How are you guys?
Man.
Well, wait, I just said the Blues giving us the blues, but add the Cardinals to that list too of giving us the blues.
Cardiac Cardinals back.
April 21st.
Luckily, it's only
144 games left. 144 games left.
I know. That's why I said lucky it's only April. You know, I know the Cardinals traditionally in July is when they like to turn it up and then act like they want to win for real, like going true winning streak.
Hey,
so
I had to unfollow some people on Twitter today. They're just negative. I don't need that negative stuff in my life anymore. They're stupid. I can't. Bye.
She said they stupid.
She had to unfollow them. They got to that point. I thought you had to unfollow people when they don't agree when people protesting, but if you gonna follow them because they dogging the Cardinals in.
It's negative. I don't need that. It's like baseball's like besides Mia and Brendan's my life, but they're letting it ruin their lives. I can't deal with those people. Bye. No more.
So I know you said, and yes, it is. 3 weeks in the season. But what so far are your overall thoughts on this early 2021 edition of the Cardinals?
I mean, early on, I was worried about the pitching, as everyone was, but the last 3 starts were great. Gant, I go back 4 starts. Gant on Sunday wasn't even bad. He gave up 2 runs, I think, against Philly in a hitter's park, and then you had Flaherty, Waino, vintage Waino last night. Was the last time you get to see Waino go 7 with 10 Ks. Like, that doesn't happen anymore. And then Carlos bounce back game today. So I mean, the bats they're gonna be like that. And I don't like people like fire Jeff Albert. Like,
wait a minute, they're already trying to be off of people's heads and firing people. I mean, like I said, they give me the blues, but it's still April. We ain't even had a full month of baseball.
Cardinals fans been wanting Jeff Albert gone for years now, but the thing is okay, everyone's all over Tyler O'Neill's junk constantly, but he has a good spring. Jeff Albert's in spring. A lot of people have good springs. So what are you complaining about? I'm
not even tripping off of them. I knew Scherzer was gonna be good today. He did.
Exactly.
Double-digit Ks, but while I was seeing this, I said, I know who's guaranteed to strike out. And again, my daddy had said this back in December, and it's still true today. Matt Carpenter, he sent me an article yesterday, y'all. This is how mad he still is about Matt Carpenter.
Here we go.
Articles like a Hall of Famer was just talking about him. He said exactly what I said. Carpenter's always going to strike out. This is through text, and I can feel how he was mad. I'm like,
hold on. Who else struck out with bases loaded today?
Oh, shoot. Who did the fly out? Was that
Dylan Carlson?
Dylan Carlson struck out with bases loaded as well. Okay, let me also Justin Williams. Justin Williams just watched 3 strikes go down the middle, and then he knew what the freaking count was. He just sat there staring, dumbfounded.
Let me look at this stats and his box score.
I mean,
how long has Carlson been with the Cardinals?
He played last year, and then he's been starting every day except 1 game this year.
And Carpenter's how many years with the Cardinals, and really hasn't changed with them Ks, though? Specifically him, I can actually say it's no surprise. Seriously. Everybody else can strike out, which is still bad, but it just guaranteed with Carpenter. I don't know what's going on.
That's the problem with Cardinals fans, is everyone's going to strike out multiple times a game, but the one time Matt Carpenter does, they're going to burn down the city. That's
been on the roster longer.
Right.
That's why I say how long Carlson been there compared to Carpenter.
Right.
Okay.
Wong got it together. Wong used to strike out a lot too when he would, and he got it together.
Arenado's been striking out. Goldschmidt's been striking out.
Okay,
The only consistent player on our team has been Molina, and
Joe,
that's facts.
So, Joe, question: If Goldschmidt or Arenado strikes out, is that something that we expect them to do?
That's power.
Now, yeah, right now with how.
Come on now. Overall.
No. Listen, right now I'm expecting Nato to pop up because he's been doing that a lot. Right now I'm expecting Goldschmidt to strike out because he's been taking very bad at bats. And I'm honestly besides like maybe Tommy Edman and Yadier Molina, I don't know what's going to happen in that lineup.
Goldschmidt had 2 strikeouts today. Carlson had 2 strikeouts. Carpenter had 2 strikeouts, and Williams had 2 strikeouts. Everybody else had 1 or 0.
But who are people talking about?
Well, I know Goldschmidt and Arenado are considered quote unquote power hitters. So
they are talking about Carpenter.
But they make more contact with the ball too. Unlike Carpenter, he doesn't do. I don't know what happened. He's just.
And let me say something also. Okay, if you go back, it's not just within the last couple of years, or whatever. The entire Matt Carpenter goes down in the history of baseball, not just with the Cardinals, in history of baseball, as one of the best hitters in baseball history with bases loaded. That's including last year and the year before. If I'm going to have someone on the team right there in that situation, I want Matt Carpenter. And guess what? He hit a freaking rope right at someone. That's a hit. I think the expected batting average is over 700. So, I mean,
and
that's people aren't looking at the exact stats and numbers.
No, they are, because obviously they got
those Cardinal blinders over. That's what they got.
No. The issue is not the blinders. It's what have you done for me lately, and what he has done lately these last 3 years is why people are on Carpenter more than anybody else.
And what he's done the last 3 years is still one of the best hitters in all of baseball history.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
With bases loaded, yes, it is.
Okay, no. Wait, right. Joe, you are referring to what he did back in 15 and 16 and 17, not these last 3 years.
18, 19, 20, he still had good numbers with bases loaded.
It came from 15, 16, and 17, not these last 3 years. This is not the same Carpenter.
No, I'm not talking about those years.
But that's where it came from. That's where the numbers came from.
Those years.
If you take out the bases loaded for the last 3 years, is he still looking good? Because they don't have that many bases loaded opportunities. There's more than 9. So I'm looking at overall. Carpenter, last 3 years, without bases loaded, how's his numbers been?
I don't know. I don't have them in front of me. But all I know is proven facts that even 18, 19, 20, he's had good numbers with bases loaded. And that's what people are mad about. He had 2 at-bats with bases loaded, and he didn't come through.
No.
Guess what? You know
what
was terrible
are not
today?
just mad at what he did today. It's the culmination of the decline. For some reason, I don't know why, but the Cardinals and Mike Schilt, I'm gonna get on him in just a second, but he has this neuro, and I understand why you want to do it, because you want to make it good theater and stuff like that. But times are different. You are trying to get that perfect moment. Boom! Now he's back. Boom! Everything is all well. The whole bountiful, whatever he said a couple of days ago of hits are going to come. He had a great moment, 2 weeks ago, hitting the home run. I salute him on that. But at the end of the day, they are still naive to realize that he is not that great on base doubles machine Carpenter anymore. But and my issue is, you're going to play him. I understand that. Okay. That's not my issue. We understand you're going to play him. But you continue to put him in prime positions after you told this man in spring training that he has to work his butt off to earn a certain spot. The very first game, the very first home game, opening day, he was batting in what the second spot. Is that correct? Because Paul Goldschmidt was out. You just told the man he has to work his ass off to get back to a prime spot, and you went on to put him out there anyway.
Hey Fred,
no,
we won the game.
But he has not done anything. That's the issue.
You're talking about the Cardinals. You're talking about the Cardinals looking at the pass. You're looking at the pass. We won that game.
The issue is that you're telling him one thing, but because of the nostalgic, you're being sensitive with making decisions. You really want to see this guy succeed so well, so I'm going to put you in the 2 spot and let's see how it goes. That's the same reason why Mike Matheny got fired. You're doing the same exact stuff.
That's why you want Schultz. You think Schultz in trouble too? Because of that?
No, I don't think Schultz in trouble at all. You're seriously looking at one game of Carpenter batting in the
No.
That's all you're talking about right now.
Joe, I'm not sure.
Hold on. I need a drink.
Please. Because I'm not sure where you're getting it from. I'm not talking about just one game. This is a series of years. It's called an example of what we've been seeing these last 3 years. It's been the same thing.
You're still going in the past though. Last 3 years.
Because that's what's going on. That's the trend that's been going on these last few years. That's my point. Is that it's a different year.
You're going back and forth with yourself, okay?
How?
You keep going back because you keep going back for the last 3 years. You keep going back to one game. When's the last time he's batted low, like higher, like 1 through 4?
I don't have
last year.
None of us do.
Last year.
That's what. All right, stop. All right, listen.
You just asked the question.
I know, but I keep saying is you keep going back in the past.
So and so does Schilt. And that's the problem. That's the problem. Joe. That's the problem. Schilt keeps going back in the past. That's the problem. Schilt is going back in the past.
Fred was saying Schultz in trouble, and I'm like, I don't think so yet. But why do you think he's in trouble? Because he did the same thing Matheny did, was putting Carpenter in and telling one thing.
No, Matheny's the one that ruined Matt Carpenter.
You think so?
Yeah, you saw my status last night about how me and Brent are going through opening day lineups and stuff.
No, I missed it.
2017, the first year we got Fowler, Matt Carpenter's never batted as a starter after leadoff. What did he do that year? Oh, we're going to Dexter Fowler leadoff, Aledmus Diaz, bat 2-hole. Matt Carpenter had a year pop, and he's going to be bringing them in. Ever since then, Matt Carpenter has been up and down, up and down. Matheny's done a lot more to make fans mad than Mike Schilt has ever done. Honestly, Mike Schilt hasn't done anything to make me mad. He came in here and we got in the playoffs in 2 years. He's been our manager. So you guys can be mad about April 21st at 7:28 about I just don't get it, like.
No, I'm not mad about April 21st.
Right.
The Mike Schilt thing.
That's,
I don't think
that's just part of it.
All I was saying is you said Schilt has helped Matt Carpenter out better. It's still all accountability on that player, though.
Right.
Matt Carpenter, like I said earlier, has gone down for the last 3 years. He has gone down with higher strikeouts, batting average not there. You really can't blame it on the injuries. Again, I'm not just looking at today's game or this season. I'm going over the last 3 seasons. And it's like his game is just gone down. I don't know if this is his purposely way so he can get out of being in the Cardinals or what. I don't know.
No, this is the thing. For one, I got a couple of things. One is, what did I tell you guys before the season started? You guys were doing exactly what I told you guys were going to do. You guys were going to get upset that Matt Carpenter's playing ball games. I told you he's going to play. I told you he'd probably play 5 out of 7 days. Same thing with Molina. People are still mad Molina's playing. The dude's batting almost a 400. Like, get over it. The dude's going to play. He's getting paid.
Is Molina Carpenter, though?
No. Our expectations of Molina are not for having a high batting average. If he had a 200, we're fine with that because we know we need him defensively and to help these pitchers to get these batters out. We know what we want Molina to do, old or not. He is not a problem. He's not even a liability because we have low expectations for his bat. Carpenter, on the other hand, especially how he was higher in the order, our expectations are higher.
He's high in the order once. And we won that game. So we can stop talking about where he's batting in the lineup. That's what I just don't understand. And again, you guys make it act like I'm like all over this dude's jock. I said he's going to play. That's you know. I'm not.
You are.
You think I'm obsessed with the guy.
You are treating him as if he is still Prime Carpenter, and he is not.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
He's not Prime Carpenter. Prime Carpenter was batting leadoff, getting on base constantly. Molina's not Prime Molina.
We know that, but going into the season, though, did we talk about this? We did talk about this. We knew he was not going to be prime, just like
you guys are still upset about it.
They're on the AARP tour right now. Wayno and Molina on the AARP tour, but coincidentally, they're doing the damn thing right now, both of them. But we know our expectations are high for them because they're riding off to the sun.
Well, they're probably better too, honestly. But
all right, so
and the other thing, like, I just don't get it. Like, it's a team sport, and everyone's on one dude. Like, the whole team's not freaking hitting. We have.
But see, like I said earlier.
What happened? You all good, Bunny?
Okay, it was locked up. Sorry. My only issue, I said Carpenter's been on the roster longer. That's why I asked how long. Carlson, O'Neal, even Edmund. Nobody is putting in the years like Carpenter. He's just been going down. That's all I've said. Yeah, it's a team effort, but you're still accountable for the individual batters. You still got to know, you got the skill at this point of your career. I test you should know, don't swing at everything, come and be smart about it. Those other boys that ain't been on this roster long, like the Carpenter.
But guess what? They've been playing baseball their entire life. So
right, but are they as old as Carpenter?
No, it doesn't matter how old you are.
Well, I'm just saying, your years of experience, you should not be going, if it was an aging thing, like, oh, you just ain't got it, it's one thing. That ain't Carpenter's dispute. I don't know what his issue. Like I said, is he trying to get out of being a Cardinal?
And this is my thing. This is my thing. If you have outfielders that can play consistently, get on base consistently, this wouldn't even be a conversation. Carpenter would be playing, but you don't have outfielders. So again, you guys can go back to the freaking front office if you want to, instead of just blaming a player who has no say in this.
Love dogging Mozela. He got off his job for a while because of the Arenado deal.
But I did also say that getting Arenado wasn't just the only move that needed to be made either.
But we said that the pitching was a thing, though, still.
Yeah.
I said we all know going in, we still had an issue with pitching.
The front office thought that a accumulation of Justin Williams and Harrison Bader and Tyler O'Neill and Lane Thomas were going to be good for this team. All those guys, except for Justin Williams, have had opportunities in the league.
And then to add on,
they still aren't doing anything.
And to add on, the hype when we got to opening day outside of Arenado was the emergence of John Nagowski. This dude has been like on a freaking APB. I'm sorry, I'm scared to see him in the outfield though. I feel like you'd be losing some defensive run save. Like I don't think he'd be it for the outfield, and unless Goldie gets hurt, knock on wood, I don't think you're really gonna see him. And
unless the dude can start taking grounders at second.
And that you can't because he's a lefty, so they ain't gonna do that. In regards to he throws left-handed. But and that was one of the issues I had too was opening day. That would have been, you talking about nostalgia, that would have been the perfect time for him to play first base because Goldsmith was hurt, for that day. But anyway, you had someone who was riding the wave, and now his wave is pretty much gone. It's crashed because he's not getting any kind of opportunities to do anything. And then when he does, as you see recently, he's not even getting the ball past the outfield. So when Tyler O'Neill comes back on Friday, maybe more than likely, they may send Nagowski down to the minors.
Excuse me. Yeah, I mean, it sucks, but like his opportunity is going to come. Like Sosa's getting small opportunities here and there. If you're good enough, you're going to play.
And they'll call him back up eventually. Somebody's going to get injured.
Yeah, like I said, something's up with Goldie, I think. Like, I've honestly sat him on my fantasy squad a handful of times already because opening day he had a back tight backness, or I can't talk, back tightness.
Yeah.
And so maybe because there's even a bat against Scherzer that you didn't swing the bat once. So
but then
maybe he's hurt.
But then they were saying how the sunlight and the shadows,
Yeah,
the
the
backdrop
bird's eye.
was affecting. I think that also at that certain at bat with Justin Williams, you talking about, he may have forgotten it was 2 strikes, but they all were looking lost for like 3 or 4 innings, and that's everybody because of that. You
Well,
know,
that was like the 8th
the
inning.
backdrop.
I don't think it was that bad for that, but I don't know. Like the outfield is the bigger problem. When Tommy Edman is your best outfielder, that's when you know you have an outfield problem.
Yeah. I mean,
Your second baseman's your best outfielder.
And I'm interested to see how they're going to get the lineup together when Tyler O'Neill comes back and Bader. That's when I'm going to really see, once again, are you about playing the best players or playing guys that you just want to see get over the hump?
And this is the thing that I'll go back to in 2019 when Carpenter wasn't good. What did Schilt do? No, crickets. He benched him. He benched him.
He benched who? I'm sorry.
Matt Carpenter in 2019. Matt Carpenter didn't play that much in 2019 towards the end because you had Tyler O'Neill and you had Harrison Bader and you had Dexter Fowler and you had Tommy Edman. That's Tommy Edman's rookie year. So if Tyler O'Neill can do what everyone thinks he can do, and if Harrison Bader does what he can do, then you guys don't have to worry about Matt Carpenter.
I can't say that because Tyler O'Neill and Bader have both shown that they're really not huge upgrades offensively because they're not dependable. We have a whole outside of Arenado, Yachty, and Goldschmidt. We pretty much have, and Carlson is on the way. Williams is showing so much improvement. He just very young and raw, but he's showing the improvement. The upside is there.
Today,
yeah.
Terrible.
That was a terrible relay. Very terrible. So yeah,
I got a question
so everybody's accountable. Okay, everybody is accountable. But my whole issue is this once again. Let's just stop making these nostalgic decisions or sensitive decisions. Focus on, like I said, if you're telling people you have to play your way up, then do that. You know what I'm saying? Then present the lineup as such. It doesn't mean, okay, I'm going to automatically put Carpenter in the 4th or a 2 spot. It does not mean that. Let him build up his way by maybe putting 7, keep him 7 to 8 until he starts to get heating up. And then when he heats up, boom, shoot him up there. I have no problem with that. I ain't saying don't play the man ever in life again. He sucks. No, I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is you had Carlson in the playoffs last year batting 4th. Why in the hell is he batting 7th? Doesn't make no.
He's moved him up.
No, right. He finally did, but my whole thing is you
say it finally though in week 3, like it just.
The man played. The man played in the playoffs. There's no bigger spot than playing in the playoffs, and being
in a weird
but it's still baseball, right? It ain't softball. It's baseball. You play in the 4th spot. Stop trying to protect these guys like they're kids. Okay, they are grown men, like you said earlier, Joe. Going back to your point, these are grown men who have played baseball their whole lives. Treat them like grown men.
Is that the Cardinal way then to protect the young babies? Is that the Cardinal way?
When I don't want to hurt you, so I'm gonna put you in the 8th spot. When stop doing all that.
I have a question for you.
Go ahead.
Oh my God! Look, JoBo was so over you with that comment. She just like.
And like she said,
for Fred's the one. Whenever Matt Carpenter hit a homer, his first homer of the year, he was saying that he could really be the magic weapon down the road.
He could if he was consistent.
So you gave him the Mr. Inconsistent of the Year award? Goes to Carpenter?
No, the whole team. The whole team.
Okay.
The whole team.
You know how that.
Still blaming one person.
But then Joe would try to be all be trolling, and if somebody else made an error, she'll say Carpenter made that error. So she be playing around too. So fight fire with fire. Fight fire with fire. I got you. No problem.
Wayno threw the ball in center. Carlson made an error overrunning it, and it's like, okay, is that Carpenter's fault? Because that's how Cardinals fans act. Mm-hmm. Everything's Carpenter's fault. This whole conversation I've been on here for however how long has been about how everyone hates Matt Carpenter. So that just shows what Cardinal Nation.
Somebody else talk about, like in a Blues world, somebody that hates everybody.
I keep forgetting hockey's even on anymore because there's been so many like delayed games. We're about to play 3 straight, have a break, play 3 straight. Like,
so is everybody on the Blues roster? Everybody hates like Tarasenko's not scoring a lot right now since he's been back. Is he on the list or is somebody else on the list? The second line on the list. I mean, who in the Blues world is not pulling up their end of the bargain?
Tarasenko definitely isn't. Jaden Schwartz, he definitely isn't. I don't know what the hell happened with.
This list seems like it's getting longer and longer with the Blues, man.
Hey, I mean, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Because they're not good in the playoffs where they going. I mean, we only got how many more weeks?
They'll be going golfing.
Yeah, I don't. We're only a game over 500. I don't see it happening.
It ain't looking good.
I was feeling good there during that little streak, and then there was a postponed game, and then we had 2 games since then, and we lost both of them. So I don't know. Like, to me, I think it's like Schwartz. Everyone was on Hoffman all the time. Hoffman's been perfectly fine. It's been how he's placed, and that's on Chief. And then Schwartz has been terrible. But
our goalie play hasn't been that bad either. He ain't been good, but he ain't been bad. So I would throw him in a mix.
He's talking about Bennington.
Bennington. I mean, he's let up a lot of weak goals, but so is Husso. I think they really miss Jake Allen because I've said it on here before. Bennington's not it, but he's not terrible. It's just he lets up a lot of weak goals.
Hey, real quick, we have a few comments that came in earlier. Stanley Goodwin, I guess you talking about Carpenter. He said blasphemous. We have Arenz, the last name begins with O. Here from my man Anthony Love. He's coming up very soon. Share this stream with everybody right now because he's coming on very soon, y'all. Get ready. This guy that I know, I think you may know him too, Joe. His name is Brendan. Says we're about to start a stretch of 17 straight. No go will get some at bats coming up if he's still around. Will Holloway says our outfield is the most lackluster in the league, and Matt Carpenter has been declining the last 2 years.
No argument. Now this with the Carpenter with this other comment too with our outfield. No argument.
Our outfield's been the worst outfield in the league for like the last handful of years. So I mean,
is Justin Williams right now to you, Joe? Is Justin Williams a better outfielder than Tyler O'Neill?
I mean, he made a nice play today. I mean, Brennan said we don't think Tyler O'Neill gets it. Gold Glove or Tyler O'Neill gets that ball. He's taking better at bats than Tyler O'Neill. So I mean, probably yeah. We'll see what Schilt does.
It pays to manage these headaches, right? Right.
Yeah. So
I mean, I've enjoyed seeing Williams take at bats. He's been fun to watch. He hits ropes all over field, but to you, velocity off the bat doesn't mean anything, so we can't look at that.
I never said that because you and Brendan was highlighting how I was hyping him up because of his velo. So yeah, he's definitely hitting the ball hard. So I never said that. All I'm saying is less.
Put it on the tweeter one time before.
Oh no. I said I love the velo. The ball is jumping the whole 9. But then I also said if he's not hitting the ball, he shouldn't be playing. And for a minute, he wasn't playing. But ever since he had those 2 days off, it's finally clicking. It's the progress. Because, Bunny, as I always say, progress is what?
Sexy.
And that's what he's been showing is progress. That's all we've been asking for. Carpenter had a great stretch. Like, what? Was like 1, 2, 3 game stretch. He was, starting to show a little something. But then it'll be like, okay, now he's back to oh no, here we go again. So I'm just asking for progress and for the whole team, not just one person, but the whole team. Overall, I'm sure you can agree, Joe. When the Cardinals score 5+ runs, it's like a wow, we did it. It's a surprise.
Exactly.
That's when we know it's an issue because we are more surprised when they score these runs. And then how many people, even yourself, expected after we had 12 runs against Philadelphia, that then we had no runs. Then we had 9 runs against Washington. Next game we had 2 runs.
Shut us down.
And the whole thing is that we expect for that to happen because that's what this team has shown us.
Yeah.
I don't like I'm not wowed when we put a 5 spot up. I'm more wowed when we do the 12 because it's like, what the hell, like where did that come from? But it doesn't. I feel like it happens to a lot of teams though, where you score a lot of runs and the next day you face a Max Scherzer or something. So I mean,
and then
he's Max Scherzer, but we also get shut out by the 9 Max Scherzer.
Right.
It's not.
We
take the Hall of Famer to be out the equation. We'll still be like
Aaron Nola is a top 15 pitcher in the game, so I wasn't terribly mad about that. John Gant pitched a great game. So
no. We ain't talking about Aaron Nola. We're talking about the Fendies, the Joe Rosses. You get shut out.
Joe Ross did that to the Braves though, his first start of the year. So I mean, we made adjustments for the next time we played them, and we took care of business. So
I will say this for my predictions for the MLB. I did have the Nationals going all the way, even though we only won 1 against them. They still looking good. The Nationals, nothing besides the injury I see where they can't win it. At least the whole NL. They look good. It's still early. I get it, but they look together to me compared to what we working with. Just saying.
So, my last question before we let you go, Joe, and we appreciate you spending time with us. Great conversation. This is what it's all about. Getting our passion out there. We talk about it. When I said earlier about Schilt, I'm not saying he about to get fired or stuff like that, but is Schilt? Are you seeing Schilt?
You gotta think about it.
Right. It's like here we go, because I want to make sure I phrase this question right. But just from your observance, do y'all both see Schilt as being that guy that can put the team over the hump, like David Roberts did with the Dodgers?
I can. He's actually proven it to me.
Yeah.
I can see him doing it.
Okay.
Again, we were a couple games under 500 whenever he took over after Matheny was fired, and we made. Oh no,
we barely made it. We almost. We was like a game or 2 from making.
Okay. But then 2019 full year of Schilt made the playoffs.
Right.
That weird year, freaking carpooling to Chicago and Enterprise cars last year with COVID. We made the playoffs. No one had us beating the style.
It's good. Like compare Matheny and Schilt style. Is much better. You want to go throw back to La Russa and Schilt style, you still see the difference.
Yeah, and then what was I gonna say? Dang it. This mom brain's getting to me. I don't even know what I was gonna say.
Shouts out to Focus Dimensions LLC. He says Wu-Tang. First time viewer, thank you very much. We hope that you watch this show, not just for your guy Anthony Love, who will be on very shortly, but we hope that you follow us on Facebook, on Twitter, on YouTube. Subscribe, click on that.
Damn.
There we go. And he says here.
I guess I can say, sorry if you were continuing that. Mike Schilt in 2019, he fired the boys up for the playoffs. Okay, he fired the boys up. You just ran into the future World Series champions who also took out my Astros.
Please don't bring that up because he was fired up because someone who should still be a Cardinal now recorded it, and the Cardinals let him go to give room to Bader, to guys like Bader and O'Neal. You gave up on Randy A.
Hey, but that's okay. It makes you feel better. If I was not on the squad anymore, look what happened to him.
He's still doing good.
He called a career anyway.
He's still doing good.
Happened, he was with us, and he probably be better than any of our outfielders right now. So I mean, besides,
but he can never stay healthy. He's injured now for the rest of the season. I think he's probably gonna have to call it a career.
Hold on.
Yeah, I think he's gonna have to retire after it.
I'm sorry. Who was that? You talking about, Bunny? My bad. I missed it.
Dexter Fowler.
Oh yeah, Fowler. Yeah, Fowler.
He was fine, like we gave up his, but I'm like, at least Fowler's on the squad. He was there in 2019 and he didn't make an impact. So
if people like Adam Jones can't find a job in the major leagues, Dexter Fowler's not going to find a job in the major leagues. So I think it sucks because he's probably not going to have a job next year.
Yeah. But Joe, thank you very much for being part of our show. Appreciate it, and more than likely be chatting with you tomorrow at work.
And y'all gonna be having y'all little Twitter back and forth, right? Y'all Twitter war.
Bunny, please get on Twitter. Stop
I've
hiding.
been zipping my lips lately about it. Oh, and Paul DeYoung, yes, I said it, is a better shortstop, better ball player than Javi Baez. So
That's blasphemy. But we'll say that for next time.
look at I'll send you the numbers. And
I already saw the numbers. I already see it. But one thing you forgot to include about Javi Baez, he's also a world champion.
Pretty.
He's also a world champion.
Okay, that was a dynasty team. Broke. Well, not dynasty teams that made a World Series since, but
It was one and done with that one.
People like him because he's got a flashy glove. He's cute. He shows emotion. That's why they like him.
That's the same thing with Harrison Bader. That's the same thing with Bader.
Entertain me. So Baez, flashy, motion, give me all of that. Entertain me.
But you also want to see him strike out 200 plus times a year.
We already see that with Carpenter. He don't even do any of that. So hey, at least I can get the extra. You know?
He ain't gonna strike out 200 times a year because he's not gonna play that much.
That's even worse. See.
Thank you, because you already expect he's not gonna play.
He's not gonna play that much.
That's the issue. But anyway, Joe, thank you very much.
Still lost. Anyways, I gotta go back on some tweets that you said before, and I'll screenshot them to you.
All right, go ahead, and I'll be ready to defend myself.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Have a good.
Thank you. Have a good one. All right. As y'all can see, we debate. We get it on, but at the end of the day, we still fam. Yes, and you know, we because this is the show me state. You have to show us something. You know what I'm saying? It's all about that. What have you done for me lately? And the number that she brought up, yeah, we understand he's great with running the score position. Thing was, he was great. He was great. He's not that same guy, and we can't continue to treat him like he is that guy. Same thing with.
And it's not because he's old. That's what I mentioned earlier. It's not as an aging thing like he a Molina issue where he's aging. It ain't even got anything to do with it. I don't know what's wrong with that eye skill coordination.
Yeah, it's something deeper than, like you said, it may not be an injury thing, but it's something deeper that's stopping him. Like he can barely hit a 94 plus miles per hour fastball now. You know,
I think this is a cop out of trying to get out of being a Cardinal. I mean, that's the only thing I can think of. It's not.
No, it's not. He's not trying to be a Cardinal. It's just a matter of, it could be Father Time. The shift has affected him mentally because, like Joe was saying, he's hitting the ball hard, but you're hitting it right to the shift. His best years, and I hate to say this, but the worst thing that happened to him was when he had that salsa year, or second half of the year when he hit like 30 some home runs in the second half of the season. Mm-hmm. So then all of a sudden he got trigger happy with hitting home runs and thinking he was a power hitter. So that changed up his whole. It changed up his whole game. This dude was famous for hitting slap hits, opposite field, apple tacos, doubles, the whole nine. It wasn't about him launch angle and trying to get the highest exit velo of his lifetime. It was just about him getting on base, whether it was by walking, slap hitting the gaps. Mm-hmm. And he lost that because he had that incredible second half of the season 3-4 years ago, and he had the salsa. All that changed. It's like he just got trigger happy. It's kind of like it's kind of like, you know, let's say if LeBron James just had like an incredible second half of the season hitting 3-pointers, and so now he think he's Steph Curry. So you change your whole game up to try to be like Steph Curry when that's not really your game. That was just a moment that you had. You know what I'm saying? Go back to what got you to the game. For, another prime example. Musically, Music Soul Child. When this cat came out, every song was soul hitting, neo soul driven. He brought something different to the table. But then when he came out with that one song, Radio, like he started getting this little crunk, little vibe going. So he tried to keep on doing the same thing.
More hip hop beat to it.
Right. You know what I'm saying? And that just changed everything up, and he ain't been the same since. Stick with what got you to the game. That's all I'm saying. Matt Carpenter, focus on hitting the ball opposite field. That's what you were known for doing before you had the salsa year. That's what got you going to the All-Star game. But you got trigger happy trying to hit home runs all of a sudden, and your whole game changed. That's all I'm saying. But anyway, before we bring on our special guest, this is the Platform Sports Talk Show. Chris Fisher says, bring on Anthony. Babyface love. See, we got some nicknames coming. The nicknames are coming.
Oh.
They call him Babyface. He must have the whip appeal. He must have the whip appeal. So, real quick, NFL today passed the jersey rule, in which now it doesn't matter what position you play. Like for running backs, it was usually you had to choose between 20 and 49. If you are running back and fullback, offensive lineman had to be like 70s to whatever. Now players can wear single-digit numbers if you are a tight end or if you are a wide receiver, if you are a cornerback, it's whatever. I think that's pretty cool because now you're not being so lenient on stuff. You know what I'm saying? I feel like football is one of those sports in which it's hard as hell to play a sport like that and make it to the league. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Let loose of all these, can't celebrate. Remember a couple years ago, they finally let loose and let celebrations happen more. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's such a rewarding feeling when you're playing football. You should not be limiting these guys to be them.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So doing stuff like this, I think is pretty cool. They're supposed to be putting more officials doing replay reviews because the replay system, I think basketball has been much improved, but the replay system in baseball sucks.
It's too slow. It takes way too long to determine. Way too long.
The NFL sucks.
Way too long. I'm like, y'all got like 10 eyes on each monitor and y'all can't figure this out in less than 2 minutes. Like, really? What's good?
And, even though I was glad the Rams at that time made the Super Bowl because of that play in New Orleans, it was still wrong. Like, it was wrong. And there's no way that the call should not have been, correct. You know what I'm saying? So, You have too many people. Technology is too good nowadays to not get every call right. So that's the reason why you have replay, to get every call right. Use your resource that you have. Other than that, what else we have here before we bring on our special guests? This has been a great show already, man, and we ain't even bringing our guest in yet. Oh, so real quick, let's talk about these NBA standings because I say we talked about Kobe earlier. I want to get to NBA. Anthony Davis, he'll be back tomorrow for the first time in months. Lakers been treading water, but they're still in the hunt. And when I say that, let's talk about in the East right now. You may see it on your screen in a few seconds, Bunny, if you got your other monitor going. But right now in the East, number 1 seed, the 76ers. Number 2, Brooklyn. Number 3, Milwaukee. But look at number 4 and number 5. The Atlanta Hawks are number 4, 32-26. And then right behind them, the New York Knicks at number 5.
I'm not surprised about number 5 because remember they was hot at the beginning of the season. They had that winning streak. And I told y'all when Thibs was hired as coach,
oh yeah,
I said, defensive minded coach, he'll whip them up together. He got D-Rose, Randall's breaking out, Randall's showing why he was drafted in the first round, top 10 player. He didn't get to do with LA because there's already superstars there in New Orleans. And this is his team now, surprisingly. And his team right showing out.
And I was telling Stan, like, I believe New York is like number 1 rated defense in all of the NBA. And I always say defense wins championships. Not saying they're going to win a championship.
Coach, I told y'all know he's a defensive-minded coach. He's always been successful with that.
But the Knicks are showing a identity that they have not shown in a long time. So it's very good for the NBA to have the Knicks be as successful as they are.
I think it was coaching and the personnel because Fizdale coached him a couple years ago, and Fizdale got fired, and that wasn't his fault. The Knicks organization, they owner the a-hole. Mm-hmm. And y'all know how he's with Oakley and Ewing. He's the ownership. He ain't there because he let them be trash for years on purpose. But the fact that they actually work together, I don't know who the GM is now, but Steve's coming in. They acquired Randall. Like I said, if Thibs wanted to get D-Rose, he needed a backcourt. And they still need another person in their backcourt for really to be going far in the playoffs. But they got a good squad right now.
And then right behind you have the Celtics at number 6, the Heat number 7, and number 8, the Hornets. Good news, LaMelo Ball, he will be coming back, hopefully by next week. I thought he'd be out for the season, which was going to be a huge crusher, huge blow, but he may be back by hopefully next week. Great news. Let's go to the West.
But with the new playoff rule, being an AC don't mean you're guaranteed to be in the playoffs because they got the play-ins now.
And that's what I have shown.
So being an AC, you actually like, oh shoot, because you may not still go.
Yep.
You get to the play-in.
And that's what I have in the on the screen as well. So you have number 1 seed, the Jazz. Number 2 seed, how about them Suns? Monty Williams doing the damn thing. Number 3, the Clippers. Paul George is getting a lot of hype recently. Thoughts on his game? Or do you still see him as the same Paul George, especially when it's playoff time?
Sure. The Clippers still get roasted for what happened last year and how they got crushed by the Nuggets. Anyway, this is nothing to get hype about Paul George because he's always been streaky. Ever since he left the Pacers, you have not got. You talking about Carpenter or Cardinals not being consistent? Inconsistent of the year award? Give it to Paul George.
Okay.
Sign him up for that award.
Number 4, we have the Denver Nuggets. Number 5, the Lakers holding on. Number 6, the Trailblazers. Number 7, the Mavericks. Number 8, the Memphis Grizzlies. Number 9, Golden State. Number 10, the Spurs. And as you said earlier, the play-in tournament, goes down between the 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th seeds. So as long as they are within range of each other after the season, it's going to be a play-in tournament between those teams to decide who will be the actual 7th and 8th seed going to the playoffs. So it's definitely getting exciting. LeBron James should be back along with AD together in a matter of weeks. AD will be once again tomorrow making this comeback. LeBron a couple of weeks. And the same time, this Lakers team has held on. A lot of guys have stepped up throughout this time. So it's only made this team deeper and that much better, and especially when getting Drummond as well. But we shall see. And my last question before we bring in our guest is Steph Curry, or should Steph Curry be considered the front runner right now for the MVP?
MVP is just not off of 1 month or one good winning streak. It's a whole season. He has been clowning lately, I know, but you cannot discredit what Russell Westbrook has done all season. You can't discredit, technically, if you want to even throw CP in there as well, you can't discredit, and Tatum, he kind of got hot a little late, but you can't discredit what they've been doing all season. And I get it. The Warriors, they may still make the playoffs because of the play-in thing, but still, I don't know. We know the offense was gonna go through him. We know he's gonna score a lot because Clay not there all season. We knew that was gonna happen. But forefront, look at Randall. The Knicks is his team. He has proven it.
Right.
So that's all season though. You know what I'm saying? Embiid had it going, but once he got injured, I couldn't put him up in the front because he was at the forefront. And once he got injured, that kind of played. So I don't know, man. He's been clowning lately, but we're talking about all season since December. We have to go off of not just March and April. So MVP talk, yeah. Forefront to me, no.
Well, I look forward to seeing what our special guest has to say about it because, everyone, it is that time. This man here, former alma mater, baby, Vashon High School basketball standout with not just one, but 2 state championships. He was also named first team all-conference, also named as a USA All-American basketball nominee back in the 96 year during the Cash Money days, you know what I'm saying? But anyway.
Cash money.
No limit, cash money. You all know how it was back in the day. But anyway, Taco Bell Scholar Athlete of the Week, back in '96. Played Division I basketball at the University of Missouri, Kansas City. Graduated with a bachelor's degree in business administration. Worked in corporate America for 15 years. Got his MBA, so the brother is smart, from Lindenwood University. He is now currently a full-time real estate executive for Berkshire Hathaway. Hey, you be seeing those Berkshire Hathaway signs everywhere. It don't matter where you at.
They making money, making moves, and you know who's their biggest funding? Warren Buffett's all behind it. So.
And he's also doing his free time as a coach for his son and his daughter's 5th grade team. For the Net Poppers, St. Louis Eagles 7th grade girls, and St. Louis Phenom 6th grade girls. This guy here, for those who don't know, my bloodline is Vashon Blue. Bottom line, my mom went there, uncles went there, cousins went there, and I've always followed the V since I was a little kid. And right before I officially went to the school, I used to always check out his games. And remember, we had Lauren Woods on and Chris Carrawell on and Jahadi White, and doing great games at Normandy. He was there. Shouts out to guys who I call quiet assassins as well. The Marquise Watkins, who we had on our show, Danny Davidson, Steve O. Henderson, and just James Rudy Williams. I mean, just so many guys. But this guy here, he had like the coolest game that I've ever seen. He put me in the mindset a little bit of like a BJ Armstrong type guy. You know, he may not have been like, you know, everyone talk about him in the papers, but he was that guy who made them shots when it mattered, who led his team. Very humble guy. And it was so cool that I saw him at a New York Grill over a month and a half ago. And I'm like, wait a minute, aren't you Anthony Love? I gotta get you on the show. And I'm just so glad and honored that I got him on the show, that he agreed to do it. It's an honor and a pleasure to have on the show one of the guys who I respected at the V. He was different, y'all. And it's an honor to have him on the show. Without any further ado, Mr. Anthony Love. Anthony Love, what's going on with your brother?
What's going on, everyone?
Man, it's good to have you. And as I said to you before, we appreciate you taking out time to be on our show. I know you got probably 15 million things to do in life, but you decided to be on the platform, Sports Talk Show. And we're also loving that dope backdrop, man. The background.
That's why he wasn't gonna show up for real. He had to show off some St. Louis or St. Louis owns jerseys back there. That's why.
That's what's up, man. Hey, you looking good, man. What's going on with you?
Man, I appreciate you, man. I just want to say thank you to my Vashon alumni, friends and family that tuned in. Really appreciate that. Very humble for having me on the show. And let's get to it.
Let's get right on to it, man. I know you said during the pre-show that still been a lot of adjustments. I know it's been 16 months and whatever it's been now, dealing with the pandemic. How much of the pandemic has it affected everything that you've been involved in?
Yeah, so with the pandemic going on almost 18 months, like we literally got shut down March 2020. Jobs, kids, school. I mean, I literally haven't moved or done anything. I was coaching every weekend. I was coaching every week, and I literally haven't done any of that in a little over a year. So looking forward to getting back out there this weekend, actually getting back into coaching my kids, and looking forward to that. So definitely excited to kind of be able to move around, during this difficult time for everyone. So just wishing everyone stay safe and keep everybody in prayers, as I know everyone probably have lost someone during this difficult time.
Yeah, most definitely. So we have a few comments already coming in. Let's see here. We have Tiffany Carter says, definitely. When I was talking about you earlier before I brought you in. Badass Vegan says, Cuzzo. Our faithful follower, Miss Alice Williams says welcome.
Thank
And
you.
then we have Jazzy Entertainment. Jazzy Entertainment, what? I like it. Says, that's my superstar cousin, Aunt Love.
Awesome. Awesome. Appreciate the love, everyone.
Yeah, man. So, I mean, I know you've seen the show a little bit already. The comments coming through. How does it make you feel being able to see all the love, no pun intended, that people have been, showing you so far in the comments?
Oh man, I just really appreciate it. It just kind of goes back, to my upbringing, just always being humble, just from mom and dad being there for me, from day one, just supporting me. It really means a lot. So definitely want to shout out my parents. Lost my dad back in 19, so that's been a very difficult time for me and my family. But like I said, he's still living through me. Everything I do, raising my kids, and the things I do on a daily basis, he is still here. So he's gone but never forgotten.
That's what's up, man. And definitely our condolences to you and to the family as well. Something that we like to always ask our special guest as we get right into it, not just by high school, because that's the STL thing, but in regards to the platform sports talk show, we always have to ask our guests, when did you find or develop your love for sports?
Well, I found my love for sports probably when I was about 4 years old. My dad, he come from a basketball family. They called him the Loves, Arthur, Dan, and Arthur, Dan, and my father, Howard. They all went to Sodan, so they've been playing basketball up at Eastgate. They've been playing at Woles. They've been playing down at the 7th District Police Station across from Sodan. So I've been around basketball, like I say, since I was 3 or 4 years old. My dad picking me up, putting me up to the hoop, and just being able to just be around it. And like I said, my dad played up till he was 55. So I mean, he played for a very long time. I thought I was doing something playing the 40 and over league, but he still got me about another 13 years. So just being around basketball, just the love of the game, being basketball is a life skill. Even when I'm coaching my kids, I mean, just being on time, being dependable, not being selfish, it's no I in team. And like I said, when we don't lose, we learn. So like I say, basketball is a life skill that can take you so far. Basketball got me a free scholarship to UMKC. Didn't have to put that burden on my parents. My parents was on the road every game in Kansas City. They did not miss a game. My dad worked from 8 to 3 o'clock. Got on the road from 3:30 to about 6. My game was at 7. Stayed there for the whole game. Then turned around and left Kansas City about 9:30. Got home around midnight and went back to work. I mean, this is for years, So just having that support system, looking up in the stands, meant a lot. And I just think that just shows the unconditional love.
Yeah, man, that's deep. And
That's what's up. That's definitely parental love, unconditional parental love. That's sacrifice. To
Yeah,
work, go hit the road back, go to work next day. But that's good love, good family support.
they was down there like they lived there, but literally dropped.
Look, they probably know Kansas City better than St. Louis.
Every other day. So no, definitely appreciate the support. And then, like I say, even when I was at Vashon, Coach Irons, took me up on his wing as as a son while I was there. He was always there to support me, through everything. And then a lot of people don't know that my senior year, coach, that's when he was dealing with, they wouldn't let him coach and be the principal at the same time.
right.
So during my senior year, he actually had to step down to be the head coach and go be the principal. So at that time, Russell Arms came on and coached us the rest of that season. So
Coach Arms.
yeah, so that, that was a difficult time for me as well. Just having that transition, going down to the play for the renowned coach of Coach Irons, and then to get halfway through my senior year, to kind of have him depart. It was definitely a very very interesting year, but we made it through. And like I say, just make you persevere, through life, dealing with dealing with adversity, and like I say, that's another part of life as well.
That's what's up, man. And outside of basketball, were there any other sports that you had interest in or that you played?
Outside of basketball, I did softball for like a few years, just on the weekend, just to kind of stay active. But I always fell back into basketball. So and then like I do work out. I lift weights. Try to stay active. So my other love, I would say, like say, just training. Just staying in shape. Just because you get older doesn't mean you have to look like you old. So as my buddy Chris Fisher said, the baby face. I guess I age well.
Heck no.
Baby face. So
Well, they confuse you as a basketball player on the team you coach. They be like, oh, that's the extra tall player. Like, that's
Exactly.
coach.
so as a youngster, as a kid, it was now you said softball. Was that as you was growing up, or did you try to play baseball as well as a youngster?
No, it actually was out as an adult. That just kind of
Okay.
was something I picked up kind of after basketball to kind of, let my knees rest a little bit. So kind of picked up softball for a few summers.
Okay.
So let me
And
ask you this. Did you do basketball? You said since 4 you've been having a love of sports. When you started doing organized basketball, how old were you? And what team did you play on?
Organized basketball probably at like 7 years old, and we actually played for the Ferguson Tigers. Badass, he was, part of the team, and Keith Griffin. So, like I say, a lot of local guys. Ferguson Tigers, and then we did the Larry Hughes AAU, back in the day.
Okay.
Kind of came up, with the Larry Hughes, Justin Tatum, and played down at the Coca-Cola shootout against Kevin Garnett. That's kind of like the real basketball, I think, back in the 90s.
Right.
I mean, it was really like Normie Christmas tournament. When you
Mm-hmm.
couldn't get in the gym. I mean, those were the days for sure. I mean, I think it's just something about those games, it just really made you just grow up fast, and it prepared you for the next level. Whether you went, to a big D1 or D3, you could continue on and get your education, because you got to use them like they use you at the end of the day.
who would you say was some of your
That's it.
who would you say was some of your influences in regards to you learning about the game of basketball and getting better and improving your skills?
I say my dad. My dad, he had this philosophy where he's like super even kill, laid back. He would get up, we would get up and go to Wold every Sunday morning at 6 o'clock in the morning. He didn't put no pressure on you. He'll tap you 1 or 2 times, say I'm about to hit the gym. You either gonna get up or you're gonna sleep in. So just having that one to be better type of attitude, I got up. Most people at 12 years old not getting up at 6:30 in the morning trying to go work on a game with grown-ups, and like I said, I got better by playing up at Wall against, adults. I was a little kid, but them bumping me around and throwing me around, kind of got me, prepared, for, the bigger games and lessons, throughout life. So just being able to kind of know what I wanted. I definitely didn't want my parents to have to pay for school. So I wanted to use that platform as, hey, get a scholarship, use them like they use you. If you go, overseas or go to the next level, great. But if not, at least you got that, that degree that can't be taken away from you.
Exactly. We have a few comments here from let's see, Belinda Bright says, first time follower. Thank you very much. Coach to my son, A1, net popping. So shout out to Belinda Bright. Then Badass Vegan says, never forget Unc. Don Love says, hey, cuz, this is Rio. Carmen and I are watching. So shouts out to you, Rio. Shouts out to Carmen. Hope y'all are enjoying the stream. Everyone keep sharing right now. Get more people tuned in, and let's show love to, no pun intended, to Anthony Love.
No, let's keep them puns going. Pun is intended. This love is his name. We gonna keep using.
We
Pun
gonna keep
intended
showing
all
love.
night long.
Yes, we give him the love all.
So we need
night
more
long.
love in the word,
There we go. There we go. In that, hey, like what Corey Spink said on our show, in that order.
In that order. Yep.
Let's see. Don Love. Okay, so he's talking to someone else saying, hey, John. Then Miss Williams says, quotes, we don't lose, we learn. I like that motto.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about giving back, So I enjoy coaching my kids. I got a great group of parents, great group of kids, and like they mean a lot. When everybody on the same page, really supporting your vision. It really means a lot. I had these kids probably since they was in the YMCA leagues, and I haven't lost any kids. So that's just
Really?
Because and coaches are trying to steady pull kids, but they are so loyal to me, and what I bring to the table that, like I say, I have not lost any kids throughout the last 6 or 7 years since I've been coaching them. So that means a lot, to me as well. And just the character.
That's big. So do you plan on coaching them when they get to high school level, or you have an AAU team and taking
Yeah,
them
so
there for?
we're going to expand this year. Like, so they fifth grade, so it's only like 10 and 11. So we're going to expand to more AAU, kind of get into like a Reebok series. But like, so I want to keep them together. And actually, my daughter plays on my boys' team, and she is really, really good. She plays on the girls' team as well. But I think with her playing on the boys' team, it just makes her a lot better. So when she does play against the girls, it's kind of, I'm going to say it's easy, but it's like she's already a step ahead and kind of, it just kind of keeps her head her.
Yeah, because she's already facing against hard competition being with boys. So by the time she gets to the girls game,
Correct. And I've already
she's already been challenged. So this is like, oh, so I've seen this before. This
I've
is
had
don't care of me.
I've had parents and coaches call in on my daughter, thinking she's older than what she is, and
Oh wow.
she's so good. Like how I'm like, she's a girl. This is a boy league. Like how are you even calling me about this? So
Oh, don't worry, it's not gonna stop.
the birth certificate with me.
I'm telling you, I seen with the AAU or just basketball teams being around it, the stuff I've seen the people to call on and for people to store paperwork to be some of good parents. That's very, very important as well. That support and getting the kids to and from practice or communicating. I think people forget about that part because coaches have lives. So you got your own kids you're helping and raising on top of these other kids. And just, again, been there, done it. Just
It's a lot.
respecting coaches'
I love
time.
my families for sure. I mean, I really, really do because we have no problems at all. They all get along. They all support. I'm not chasing nobody down. We all communicate. I mean, it makes my job a lot easier.
So,
That's awesome.
so what led you to go to Vashon High School?
What led me to go to Vashon High School? It's a funny story because my dad used to always take me to Vashon games back in the '80s. The Sean Tunstall, Anthony Bonners, the Twins. I mean,
Yeah.
that was like high profile basketball. But I never in my life thought I would be going to Vashon. So I was at this Western Groves tournament. Actually, it was a camp, like a summer camp, and I was, doing my thing, playing, and shining, at maybe I don't know, 12 years old, and I guess they were like, who was that? Who was that guy? Who was he? And they was like, that's Love, and Coach Irons actually was, at that camp, and then once Coach found out that my dad was, Howard, it's pretty much that's pretty much how that went, So best decision I could have made, to be honest with you. Just the family and environment of Vashon and how they, just brought me in as a family. I mean, Tiffany Carter, she's on the tuned in. I mean, she was like my day one when I first got there. She kind of took me under her wing and kind of showed me the ropes. I'll never forget that. So it's just been a family environment, from the beginning.
So to the people who are outside of you, didn't go to the school, they knew about basketball, but what was something else about the V that you may have heard or may have had possible concerns about before going to that school? Cause I'm not sure to this day, but I know during my time they be like, "Oh, you going to the V, so you we about to go to murders, death row." You know what I'm saying? So what was just the vibe that you got, the thing that you heard that were maybe untrue to you when you went to the V?
Well, I would just say, everybody, think that the V, all they have is athletes, they don't, go to class or they don't, do what they need to be doing. But like I say, when I went to the V, I was in, upper bound classes. I actually took a few classes at SLU, so I think the perception is, they don't have the resources to give the kids if they want to be great. But like I say, if you want to be great at Vashon, you can be great. So I'll just say you got to, put in what you want to get out of it. I think a lot of times, if you don't put it in, you think you're just a basketball player and just walk around all day and don't do any of the work. When you go to college and you can't keep up, that's when it's going, you back home or transferring, it just kind of showed that you didn't prepare yourself before you got it. So again, you put in what you get out of it.
And I take it that with you already playing, doing things that you like you say, your dad was pretty much holding you down in regards to being at games, then going to work, and then doing this, doing that. You start seeing how he did what he had to do, and I'm pretty sure it got you to that point of knowing you gotta do what you have to do to hold yourself down, so your family don't have to pay for this, pay for that. Did that also help you out mentally and knowing not just to handle adversity, but not being intimidated when you went to the V, knowing that it's like the mecca of high school basketball?
Right. Yeah, and like I said again, like I said, I give kudos to my parents, and then just me being able, even though your parents show you the way, it's still up to you to follow their lead.
Right.
And my parents always said, be a leader, not a follower. So initially, when I got down to the V, I could have easily went to the left, and got out of character that wasn't me, and just, not doing things that I went there to do. But I knew going in what I wanted to accomplish. So I stayed on track. I still, they knew Love not gonna be doing all that. He's still gonna do what he gotta do. He gonna take care of his business, and he's still gonna get shown love no matter, whether he's from that, from down from that environment or not. It just showed that when you're a stand-up guy, no matter what, they're gonna always support you.
So basically, you're saying that there were a lot of temptations being at the V.
Correct.
And
Good
then,
and bad. And like I say, it's up to you what you want to accomplish, in that environment.
yeah, it's I can definitely understand that as well. During my time playing for the V as well, and as you know, when you play for the V, you instantly are a rock star. Am I wrong?
Correct. Now you going right in, and a lot of expectations, are set upon you. And like I said again with Coach, which he set the tone, for all these private schools, all these public schools. I mean, he set the tone back in the early '80s and '90s with us wearing the same uniform, same tennis shoes, same shooter shirts, changing tennis shoes. He was the guy, so he had a bullseye on him when he had, a lot of great teams, winning state championships back to back. They would say he was arrogant, and how he went with all these, black kids. And, so it was a lot of controversy as well, when you went to the V, so just being able to, you kind of growing up in high school, but you're kind of growing up as if you're in college when you're at the V, because you're just dealing with so many different things, coming your way as you're trying to, manifest and be great.
And we do have some comments here. Jazzy Entertainment, great question. I'm going to save that for later on, but I definitely will ask that question. Same thing with you, that Sean Scott. So I got you. So I'm definitely going to ask those questions very soon. Jai Love says, yes, sir, Unc, I see you. Don Love asks, since you were always a great jump shooter, who did you style your game after? Secondly, who is the greatest shooter in your opinion?
Wow, great question. For us shooting during that time, like I said, I'm a '70s baby, so most during that time it was a Reggie Miller. Reggie Miller was the sniper, during that time, and then
Right.
also just like you mentioned earlier, B.J. Armstrong and Paxson. I mean, they were knockdown shooters. So, for us like a point guard, I like Isaiah Thomas and Tim Hardaway, during our era. So that's kind of who I, did my point guard skills behind. But then for like say shooting, it was more around the Reggie Miller and the B.J. Armstrong and Paxson. And then for the greatest shooter of all time, wow. The game has changed, from like I say, back in the day to now, so it's a little different for just for what you can do, if you can hold and grab. But I mean, to be honest, I mean, I gotta say Curry. I mean, Curry is really shooting hands down. I mean, lights out.
Yeah.
I mean, at his size and the quick release and the repetitiveness he's doing. I mean, I gotta agree that he's probably the best thing we've seen, ever.
Yeah.
It could be debatable, but I mean, he is shooting some
Incredible.
unbelievable shots.
And I mean, hey, Dame Lillard, he's coming up there too. You saw what he did in the All-Star game. Him and Curry, boy, it was like, good Lord. And
Dame
Klay
is
Thompson as
underrated.
well.
Yeah, Dame Dollar is definitely underrated. He should be MVP this year as well.
Whoa, this year too? Now you heard my list earlier, who I threw in the conversation, right? Yeah, I told you. I said even Randall. I said Russell Westbrook. I said Stillman, and I said Embiid even had it, but Dame Dollar's always underrated. I don't know why they always put him on the All-Star at the last minute, but for him to be MVP this year,
He's in the talks. He's in the talks.
Yeah, but I mean, in the talks, it's like, I mean, that's the case. Who should be in the talks? The top 5 that we think, or top 10? Because I wouldn't put him in the top 5. Top 10, yes, not 5.
That's debatable.
He said that's debatable.
Hey, that's what we do. Hey, everybody got their right to an opinion. At least I give him credit because I said he should be All-Star automatically, and they still give him grief. Sorry about that. Still give him grief about not being that. Like I think it's being in a small market affects him too. But
right.
Then again, when Russell was in Thunder and when when Russell was in the Thunder, that small market, he never got overlooked. So I don't know.
Yeah, something about him. They just don't give him his props.
Because they hating on him because he's bad. But don't put in the mix is think about it. So the people who's in the mix last year, from Harden to but she's been so much injured. Of course, KD been injured. You know, they usually even LeBron. All the people that you would thought had injuries this year. Like Embiid, like I said, Embiid, man, he on the way out down for me to talk because he's injured. Now, who I don't think should be in there in the top 5 is Giannis. Giannis been doing good, but
yeah, it just
okay, that's my 2 cents. Who am I, right? What do I know?
You right on the money.
Yeah. She got it. She be knowing her stuff, man. Once again, this is the Platform Sports Talk Show. I am your boy Smooth, along with
Bunny.
And we have special guest. He wasn't ready for it, Bunny. He wasn't ready for it.
We were trying to find it. We were trying to
yeah. He wasn't ready for it. See, I was taking your job, trying to give you the alley-oop so you could dunk it in like Dane Davidson was doing back in the day.
Yeah, you ain't lying.
So let's go right on in, man. Again, in regards to the V. So freshman year, tell us about you coming in, first basketball practice. Did you start off in JV or did you go right to varsity?
Yes, I came right in. Seal Bowden and Antonio Bobo, they broke me right on in ASAP. So yes, came right on in and right on into varsity.
Nice.
So that was an adjustment, but yeah, they broke me on down real quick.
Wait, your freshman year you was on varsity?
My sophomore year.
Sophomore? Still, okay. Exclusive. Okay. Somebody saw you something you real early.
So was being a point guard something that came to you just naturally?
Yeah, because I've always been the shortest guy on the floor on the team. So that's kind of what I've always, transitioned into. And then, like I say, I'm more of a 1-2. I'm a shoot first, pass, point. So I'm looking to shoot before I'm looking to pass. So that just, it just kind of worked out that way. But like I said, I would like to get my team involved. But when it comes down to the big shots, I'm definitely looking to take it.
Okay.
Wait a minute. You said you were a point that you were more the shoot first, pass second. You sound like you're ahead of your time because that's what the point guards do now. But back then in the 90s, I ain't see them doing that. Or did I miss it?
And definitely, Coach, I wasn't trying to hear that. But definitely, we had our talks and we had, but, it actually worked out. I think I might have been the first guard that he kind of let, move around a little bit more than just being like a true point guard, because I just was a shooter first. So I think I kind of, set the tone for the Joe Sheldons and everybody else to just kind of just let it fly.
I was just about to say the same thing because Joe Sheldon was right behind. He could have easily been a point guard, but coach saw something different in him, and the whole freaking PHL and the city of St. Louis and the state of Missouri saw something different about my my classmate Joe Sheldon. So shouts out to him. I know some other people may be watching as well who were after him. The guys like Jesse Akins. Shouts out to them. All those before, after. Shouts out to the V, man. V, get ready to roll.
So this whole page right now is full of V-side people comment. It's all V-side.
Hey,
if you get ready to roll, V,
there we go. There we go.
Oh, they changed the cheer up now, y'all. They got a different cheer. You know, I've been going to the games.
They got the same cheer. I don't know
no, they do enough on the cheer. I like it though, but it's this generation.
It's legendary. That's what it is.
Right.
It's legendary. So shouts out to all those representing for the V. So freshman year, how would you say that whole season went? How much of an adjustment was it for you?
That's being front. That pit was scary as it was. Let's start off with the pit.
The pit wasn't no joke. I mean, no air conditioning, all heat, everybody on top of you. I mean, it definitely was an adjustment. And like I say, I think me going to Woles and all them, soul dance and all, just being around, them type of guys, it just kind of, I kind of fit right in. I kind of fit right in, initially, kind of coming in, and I played, right away. So it wasn't, wait and see and let's see how he adjusts. He kind of threw me in there and like I said, I had a great supporting cast, with Seal Bowden and Antonio Bobo and Ronald Adams. So it was a great group of guys, and they actually seemed they were ahead of their time as well. They were older, so they kind of brought me in under their wing. So definitely shout outs to them.
What do you feel overall is like the biggest reason or reasons that Vashon basketball separates themselves from other high school basketball teams?
I just say that pedigree. Everyone don't have it. I just think, Vashon, when you come there, you look up at the banners and see, what we've accomplished, and you want to be a part of that. So just having that pedigree and that, that winning attitude, and just knowing that, it's going to take, 2-a-day practices and, play. And then again, we don't play a lot of teams here in Missouri. I mean, we know we on the road, we going to Chicago, New York, New Jersey, so when it's time to play in those state championships, it's like, it's easy work. So I think that what separates us as well. And then a lot of the private schools are doing it now. They're, taking their talents out of town so they can prepare themselves, for the bigger days. So just having that pedigree and then, like I said, that winning attitude, I think that's just the, the blue and white, culture.
So let me ask you this. So you were starting as a sophomore. So when did you start noticing that you had people in the stands looking at you to recruit you for the next level?
I got my first, I guess it was a letter from SLU. It was Kelvin Lee. He was the assistant coach with Coach Spoonhauer. So they gave me my first kind of letter saying, hey, we like your game, we like what you're doing. So that put me on notice. That kind of let me know that what I'm doing is being seen, and just continue to go work hard and put in the work, and things good things will happen.
Okay, cool. So first letter came from Blue. Okay, and after that, did you start getting more?
Yeah, I got more. Yeah, I got more and more. And then I got some from Mizzou, but at the time, Coach Irons and Norm Stewart, they didn't get along because they were just saying that the Vashon kids they wouldn't graduate us when we went there, so he didn't want us really going there at the time because
I never heard that one. I knew, like, we had KT, Coach Kelly Timms, on here a few weeks ago, and we were talking to him about it wasn't a lot of people in the St. Louis area going to Mizzou. He did, but it wasn't too many other people doing the 90s really going. Like Winfield and him, I think, are the ones that pop in my head from the early 90s, but outside that, none of the St. Louis people were going to Mizzou.
That's it. Because you got to think about it, too. Jimmy McKinney went once Norm Stewart left. He went and played for the Utah Jazz coach.
Quinn Snyder.
Quinn Snyder, yeah.
So once Stewart left, that's kind of when it opened up for some of the other Vashon kids, to go there. But like I say, Coach Irons, he wasn't. I don't even know the last person from Vashon that even went to Mizzou. I
Uh,
mean, when we went on football, but like I say, basketball, I can't even recall.
should
McKinney. Oh, you talking about recently or back then?
Back during the '90s or even the '80s. I don't even remember.
Right. That's what I told you. I said Winfield and KT the only ones I know from early '90s from St. Louis, but Vashon, no, I don't think anybody. Because even didn't Sheldon go to SEMO? He didn't go to. He went to SEMO, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, it was a love-hate relationship, during that time. So,
Okay, but so Coach Stewart kind of had a stigma with Vashon or St. Louis people, like if they weren't graduating or they want them to go there.
Yeah, it was kind of a little bit of both. We went down and played at the Hearn Center, and that was during Stewart's time, and it just was like I said, love-hate relationship. They just didn't like us coming down there every year, winning it all, and coaching took a few teams off the floor, for us getting cheated for whatever reason, so it's like I say, just dealing with that adversity as well, just treating the kids unfair. We're winning games and we get fouled, they don't call it, the other team get fouled, they call every foul down. So it's nothing against the kids, but they used to be out against coach, so it would come out, so they wouldn't like his teams for whatever reason.
Speaking of success, 2-time state champ. Let's talk about the very first state championship. That was '94. Is that correct?
Right.
That moment when you are realizing I'm about to be a state champion and continue on that legacy. How did that make you feel as an individual?
It made me feel just kind of like, I don't think I really understood what it meant at the time, because it was like literally my first year there, and to win it, all, and then I actually was on the front of the paper going for a diving ball. I mean, I just don't really think I really understood the magnitude until after, the game, and after we got back in the gym to really understand, like, wow, I'm a state champion, because everyone, can't say it, as bad as you work hard and do what you need to do, a lot of them, just like in the NBA, you just like Russell Westbrook still doesn't have a championship. So just to be, part of that, that legacy, it just meant a lot, and just to have that brotherhood. I still keep in touch with, a lot of the guys, from that particular team. So it just means a lot.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I was right there in Columbia, when you was winning that state championship, man. Going to Columbia, like you said, Norm Stewart knew, so many other people knew, expect to see the V.
Yes.
Every year, pretty much, out there in Columbia representing, hold things down. Tiffany Carter says 1994 state champs with the blue heart emoji and everything. Then you won again in which year?
95.
Back to back. And then, like you said, your senior year.
That's hard.
So then your senior year was when Floyd Irons had to choose between being a principal and being a coach.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Like I say, he just couldn't catch a break. He could do both, but they would like, you got to give up one. I mean, coaching was after school, so it wasn't like he was coaching during the school day. So, like I said, that's just another thing that they just kind of would always.
Was that a mission rule or SLPS rule?
I think it was a rule. He had been doing both for forever.
It was a made up rule. That's what it was.
After throwing y'all from winning so much, it changed the color. Okay.
Correct.
When you turn skin color and coming there whooping their other opponent's butt that don't look like you.
Right. So they we got to figure out a way, and that was the only way you was gonna coach or be the principal. So he ended up being the principal, but yeah, that was, like I said, another dagger of trying to, not, trying to, get in the way of our success.
So I know you alluded to it earlier. There we go. But we like to always ask our guests, how was the recruitment process for you? You came in sharpshooter, point guard, leading the state championships. How was that recruitment process for you and for your family?
Yeah, so the recruiting process was great. We used to have Coach Iron used to have a mailbox for all his players in his office, and as the letters would come in, we would just go in there and grab them and kind of look through them, and then kind of see what the best fit for us would be. So at the very end, for my senior year, when Coach had to step away, it was a little difficult because I just felt like it kind of threw off my recruiting a little bit, because Coach had stepped away. We had Coach Arms at the time, and it was just a lot of I guess friction, throughout the team because we know have been with Coach forever, and then for halfway through the season, and I think he actually came back to coach us against Webster Groves at UMSL. They end up letting them come back, for I guess to do both coach and be the principal. But like I say, that camaraderie had already kind of been broken. So yeah, we end up losing to Webster Groves, to go to state that year. And like I said, it just was a hard time for me. So during that time, my recruiting was I think had went down just because like I said, the year we had, it was a good year, but it was a lot of transition in it. So um, wouldn't change anything, for as my recruiting and or UMKC that I chose. It's just that I just feel that just with the breakup of in that during that school year, it just kind of impacted everyone, not just me. But we just made the best out of the decisions and the recruits that we had at that time.
Was that the Johnny Parker led Webster Groves team?
Johnny Parker and Big Tate Decker.
Yeah, yeah, we had Johnny Parker on
I
last
remember
year.
that. Yeah.
Yep, great interview. Been doing some things with him too recently, so shouts out to him for doing what he's doing for the community as
Yeah.
well. Once again, this is the Platform Sports Talk Show, your Wednesday night sports delight. Make sure y'all go ahead and follow us on Facebook, on Twitter, on YouTube as well. Subscribe, click on that.
My bad.
There we go, because anytime we go live,
You will be notified.
we are enjoying a wonderful conversation with former Vashon High School basketball standout, Mr. Anthony Love, as I'm drinking my 1800 Black Cherry Edition. Make sure y'all get y'all some.
Man, make sure they start paying you to say that. Shoot, like that's a
Exactly.
commercial ad or something.
Exactly. See me, cut the check. Cut the check, baby. Let's
Hey,
go.
It don't make dollars. It don't make sense.
Right. Hold on real quick, y'all. Hold on.
Oh my gosh. Anyway,
There we go. See, I'm drinking Bunny over there eating something, and Anthony just looking
Hey,
cool
lay-
as a
lay
fan
down.
over there.
had to lay down, but hey, we still showing Mr. Love some love. That's all that matters, ain't that right?
Appreciate it.
There we go.
Mm-hmm.
Couple comments here.
Too.
Couple comments. Howard Love Jr. says, "Hey, bro, way to represent."
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Badass vegan. I guess that's another nickname. Pooney. Who the heck is Pooney?
That's my brother, actually. Howard Jr.
What?
Yeah.
Adam Troop come out. Let me hear about that name.
Man, we have had some nicknames on this show. So, going back to the recruiting process. Well, no, I'm sorry. Before that, just going back to the V overall, man. Scholar athlete, correct?
Yes.
How important was that to you to make sure that you weren't just known as just a phenomenal basketball player?
That meant a lot to me, just because you just hear about a lot of the athletes that, once they're done or once they get hurt, they just kind of fly by the wayside. So I didn't want to be that statistic. So I took pride in, going to class, hitting the books, being recognized, for being a basketball player and being able to hit the books. So I was okay, being a nerd or the guy to get the A's and B's. I wasn't. I always been a leader, not a follower. So that's just kind of always who I've been. So that continues, to this day, that I teach my kids. Lead by example, be a leader, not a follower. Do it right the first time. Those are all things that my dad has instilled in me. And like I say, it works. Just like with my kids. Hey, wash the dishes right the first time, do your homework right the first time, you don't have to hear my mouth. Just do it
Exactly.
right the first time,
Man, I
and
heard that growing up. Whew.
we ain't gonna have that talk, you know. And a lot of times, um, it be self-inflicted, meaning that the kids, you know, they don't do what they need to do and think we the bad parent, but I'm raising you to be great and to do what I need to do when I'm not here anymore. They get
So,
it later.
so that leads to my next question from Badass Vegan. For all the parents who have kids interested in the game, tell them how you changed your shot to change from AAU to high school and college, the routine that you put yourself through.
That's a question.
It's a question that follows up with a statement. But yeah, you wanna
Yeah,
how did you do your process to changing your shot from the
from
AAU side to high school and be ready to go to college? What did you
Oh
do to
yeah.
change
So
the game in your
yeah,
shot?
so back in the day, Ferguson Tiger days, I used to shoot a slingshot from the hip. Still going in. I mean, it was going in, but it was from the hip. I wasn't strong enough. So eighth grade came. I'm getting ready to go to high school, so I started lifting weights. And they used to tell me that shot gonna get blocked. You know, you're not gonna be able to get that shot off. Shooting it from the hip, you throwing it up there, yeah, it's going in, but to be a great shooter, you have to change that shot. So that whole summer, me and Badass Vegan, we went up, we had a church, Bethesda church that had a full court basketball court right
wait
off
a
70
minute, I'm about
Bermuda.
to say off of 70 in yeah, Bermuda. Okay,
Yeah, yes. Dusk to dawn, we would go up there and shoot till the lights came on. And
Oh, that's dedication.
I worked on my shot, you know, to get it up, you know, to start shooting it, you know, more up and not slinging it. And like I say, it took work, you know, and that's why I can relate to Lonzo Ball's shot. I'm not sure how he got so far, you know, where he is. I know he's changing it, he's adjusting it now,
right.
but that's a hard shot to fix when you've been doing it, you know, for 15, 17 years. I wasn't doing it that long, but just the time I put in over that summer to get my shot up and to get and then to still have it to be consistent, like when I was slinging it up there, it just took dedication and hard work. So anything you do, you just have to put in the time. I tell anybody, put in the time and you'll see the results. If you don't put in the time, you can't be mad at the results.
And I hope that a lot of young people are watching this episode as well and hearing what you're saying, because you can't just be great off of assuming, or because people tell you you're great, then you can't, work hard still. There's still a process, because you can easily be humbled. We have these conversations with other people. Has just this generation became soft because they've been so used to being spoiled and not knowing about having a hard work ethic to continue to improve. So I hope that others are hearing this right now and are inspired. Parents are telling these kids this right now. Continue to work hard. Find your craft. Social media can be a good thing and it can be a
And
downfall as well. You know what I'm saying? So it's all about you just following the right things. Don't just go off of one thing or this person because they just want to make money off of you. Do what you have to do and remain humble, but still, grind. Stay
Right.
hungry, because I think we are losing that at times with what's going on right now in the world, but it's good to hear what you're
Yeah,
saying right now.
you had a great point, and again, it's about relationships. Relationships are everything.
Yeah.
You don't burn bridges. You stay connected with everyone. Because you just never know. When you may interact or may need something, or like I say, a lot of business deals are done. Like I say with the real estate, it's not searching online for properties. It's done by having a relationship. Hey Anthony, I got this, or hey, you got some investors looking at this. It's not on the internet. So just keeping those relationships open, throughout your career are huge. I still talk to people from Kansas City, and I just always been like that. Just always just keep in touch. No matter what, whether I need them or not, I just always, I just find time. Just to always keep in touch. With people, and it just goes a long way.
Gerald
you talked
Jones.
about earlier.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Bunny.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say Gerald Jones says, great interview, brother.
Likewise, appreciate it. Thank you.
And Gerald Jones, thanks for tuning in. Everybody else, thank you for tuning in to your Wednesday night sports delight. Bunny, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, since Love was talking about a shot earlier and you had adjusted, so when you were getting recruited, what made you decide to pick UMKC as your school? When you going on your tours and your visits, how did you select them?
Yeah, so at that time, I was down to three schools. I was down to UMKC, SLU, and Central Florida.
Mm.
Yeah, so
I'm in
University.
Central Florida. It's warm.
I
I
would
can't
chose
stand
Florida
cold.
too. I'm sorry.
Ain't that cold?
That
It
was
be sunny days all the time.
yeah, that was the relationship I had built with my parents, because Central Florida wanted me to fly out, and they just kept saying that's far, that's far, son. I know it's warm, but you're gonna be away from us. We can't get to the games, and things of that nature. So that played on my heart. I know I could have went away. It would have been a lot warmer, but when I look back in hindsight, I am glad that I chose UMKC at the time. SLU was on me, but they was kind of on me looking at another guy from over in Illinois. So, it kind of took a little longer. So at that, you kind of go where you feel comfortable, where you feel like, they want you. You don't want to just kind of wait around and, see what they're going to do. And then you get there, you're not happy. So UMKC, 4.5 hour drive, just like being at home. Like I said, my parents could come, to every home game. And then, their curriculum, they had a 6-year med school program at the time. I didn't do the 6-year med school program. I mean, I wish I would have done it, now that I think back, but it would have been a lot to do, to play basketball and to do a 6-year med school program. But they had a great business school. And like I said, I already knew, I'm 5'10, 160, I'm going to Division I school, and I knew, I probably wouldn't be going to the NBA. So I just, just looked at, after this, what can I have? What can I strive to be, even though, I didn't go to the one of the bigger schools. So just being able to look at the bigger picture, and like I said, just being able, like I say, me and my parents, were so close, and it just made a difference. Like I said, my dad, he was like my best friend. Like he was my best man at my wedding, badass vegan, that's my best friend. But my dad was my best man, just because, I just felt, he just really gave me the blueprint, to be great, and just to have that character behind me. And like I say, it's just, even to this day, it's just taken me a very, very long way in life. And I just owe my parents a lot. I mean, I hope, I wish everyone could have their parents in their life, and I know that's not the normal, and that's not just how it is all the time. But having both parents, it makes a huge difference if they're doing the right thing for your life.
True that. And let's get into college years. How much of an adjustment was it playing at the V, playing that high school basketball to now getting to college at University of Missouri, Kansas City?
Yeah, so like I say, everybody know my nephew Ja Love. He goes to University of Dallas. Shout out to him, back-to-back MVP. So kudos from Unc. Like I say, when you go D1 or any other school, everybody was the Funk, or everybody was that guy. State championship. So when you go to those Division I schools, you just got to kind of still put in that work. You can't say, well, I got 3 championships, or I played on ABCD camps or Nike camp. Everybody is good, so you got to kind of go in there with a clean slate and just kind of show how you're gonna separate yourself from the other players, that's on your team. Whether it's getting up, doing 2 a days on your own, or getting extra shots up. You just got to kind of see what you want out of it. So, like I say, it wasn't a big adjustment for me, because like I say, just coming from Vashon, you put in that work from the beginning. But a few other players, they had an adjustment. Sometimes you go and you're not playing. You might start all through high school, then you go to college and you might get 10, 15 minutes, and then you're ready to lead, ready to lead a team because you're so used to playing. So just being able to have that adjustment, why am I playing behind this guy? Put in the extra work. So I just think just having those life skills just kind of just builds you for life after basketball. Not playing, you're in corporate America. Why didn't I get that job? What does this guy have over me? So you just kind of either wait your turn or you create your own journey.
Now, speaking of that, Craig, wait your turn. Like you Ray mentioned earlier with this generation, and that wait your turn. I don't think it's us with a lot of them and being patient. Like
Mm.
you said, you were the starter as a sophomore, which isn't too common, but it is
As
common.
a freshman.
But let's go to college where it's a competition stiffer. And if you're not getting but 15 minutes out of a 40-minute game and it's consistently and you upset with that, if the coaching is still the same, like the same coach that recruited you and pitched everything to you and it's happening, but you only get 15 minutes, is that worth transferring? Because transfer portal is a hot thing. It's hotter than a hot stove. I mean, that thing is popping, basketball and football. So you
Well,
think it's worth transfer portal to wait your turn?
it just kind of depends. Everyone is different. For me, like I say, I knew at the end of the day I want my degree. I know I could live like an NBA player if I did, play my cards right. So it just kind of depends on what you want out of life. I mean, I think yeah, some people are transferring, but that doesn't mean you gonna still go over there and get the time you need, or you still got to put in the work, and you still have to go with what's the best fit for you. And I think a lot of kids just go off the name or the university, but don't go for the best fit. And I think that really impacts them because they're looking at, okay, I'm gonna do a one and done, and then when that doesn't happen, and you're only playing 10 minutes, that really impacts your head. Plus, you may have your parents or people in your ear like, forget them. You should be leaving. Go ahead and transfer over here. So you got to be humble enough to know, okay, I can see, I can wait this out. Or if you think you got a better situation somewhere else, then you just have to sit down, with the coach and your family and say, hey, I think this might be the better move. So I think it's a collective conversation to have, but it's not for everyone. You got to do what's best for you.
Focus Dimensions LLC asks, talk about how your experiences, good and bad, at the V prepared you to represent black excellence in the hood. Also, manhood, brotherhood, and fatherhood. Then have hashtag stay crispy.
That's my guy. Yeah, so just real quick out to Teron Bowman. He has focus dimensions, professional development, always stay crispy. The focus is on you. So like I said, he's always about, professional development. So shout out to him. And then the good and bad from just being at the V, I mean, like I said, you just have that stigma. He's just a basketball player. What else can he bring to the table? Dealing with adversity, like I say, we get cheated out of so many games that, like I said, it just should be fair. And we're kids playing the game of basketball. And I see it in my youth games. We're a really good team and we don't get calls, and it shouldn't be like that, but that's just how some people are. So I just say, the good and the bad, you gotta just take it with a grain of salt and just continue to push through, just like Teron. Now we got this continue the journey, no matter what's going on, you gotta still persevere and push through. You can't give up. So that, I think that's another thing with the newer generation. They just think everything is just going to come overnight. They just see the success on on Instagram or social media, but they don't see the long nights. That people putting in behind the scenes and staying up late, or going to multiple appointments, or investing in themselves. Some people are reading books and spending $300-400 on professional development courses, to help them speak well or to have them have better networking opportunities. So I think a lot of them don't really see the behind the scenes, and they just want everything as instant gratification, which I think at the end of the day, it hurts a lot of our youth because they want everything right now. So I just say, just being able to just persevere, stay engaged. You got to be a people's person. You got to be able to adapt. I can go down to Vashon and throw on my hoodie and go to a game, or I can go to corporate America and throw on my suit and tie and go into a business meeting and present. So I just think you just got to be versatile and know your environment, keep relationships open, and just always, just believe in yourself. Because at the end of the day, all you have is you.
Right. And can nobody else live your life?
Right.
Let's see. Sean Scott asked earlier, what advice would you give to any freshman entering college?
Any freshman that's entering college, I would say again, and these principles stay for anyone, be a leader, not a follower. Like I say, you can go like my dad always told me. You know, you can go hang out, but take care of your business. I mean, that's his thing. Take care of your business. I don't care what you do. Take care of your business. Whether it's getting good grades, whether it's you not riding 4 and 5 people in the car. You know, just be smart. You know you're being watched. No matter if it's a basketball court or walking through the mall. You got that University of UMKC or whatever school you're going to, you can still get in trouble because you're representing that school at all times. So just always know your surroundings, no matter what.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Mark Loggins earlier said, "Truth. Here is the reality of well, I guess he's saying here is the reality of understanding your truth." Then he says, "Patience is a virtue to any level of success." See if we have any other comments here. Okay, yeah, that was it for that one. So, how would you say your overall time at UMKC was?
I said my overall time at UMKC was good because I knew what I was going for. You know, for some reason, I guess I played basketball for I don't know, 15 to 20 years, and you know, I wasn't really. I could have went overseas and played, but I just, I pretty much kind of checked out and just focused on my education at that time. So I think overall, you know, I used the school like they used me, you know, and got my degree. So I think overall, you know, it worked out. So I have no regrets, you know, in choosing the school or you know my life from college up until now. I think you know it just taught me a lot about myself. You know, it just had me persevere, push through, and just always just you know just want to be the better me. You know, just always trying to grow each and every day.
Which leads to my next question from Jazzy Entertainment from earlier. How did you feel when your chances for going professional ended?
I felt relieved. You know, I just kind of felt like I gave my best go. You know, I was being realistic. It's like I say again, 5'10", and you got to look back. I was talking to my buddy Chris Fisher a few days ago. We watched NBA TV. That 1996 NBA draft was the best draft ever. I mean, so I was competing against the Allen Iversons, the Kobe's. You know, it was some heat. You know, during that time. So um, back then, like I said, back when the UMKC, I played against um, Chauncey Billups, Teron Lou, Larry Hughes. I mean, we played like five of the Big 12 schools, and like I say, you had to damn near average 20 to 25 to even go to NBA
Mm.
during that time. And now you can do a 12 to 15, you gone.
So,
So it's just a different era now. You can average 12 to 15 points, and you a lottery pick.
and this is so fascinating because I didn't think about it until you start saying it, especially because of the year that you graduated and then you was in college. But just tell us, man, from your point of view, you playing against them. How was it playing against guys like Iverson, like Kobe, like the Billups, before, of course, they got to how they are now?
I mean, they. It was just something about them. You know, it was just one of them things where it's like they got the it factor. You know, you knew they was gonna be great. Just like I said, we played Kevin Garnett down the Coca-Cola shootout. Coach Irons had me jump against him for whatever reason. I'm jumping against Kevin Garnett. Kevin Garnett tipped the ball to Ronnie Fields. Ronnie Fields could put his whole elbow in the rim.
Man, hey,
Nothing.
before Vince Carter, it was Ronnie Fields. I'm just saying. That
Yes.
dude was incredible. And yes, I was there at the shootout watching Garnett doing this thing. And then I was actually on the court that year. I think it was my sophomore year or junior year when we faced Darius Miles and East St. Louis at the at back then the Scott Trade Center. But
Hmm.
yeah, it was Ronnie Fields was just like jumping out the gym. He could jump from the freaking arena to the arch if he wanted to.
You said jumping out the gym, literally.
Yes.
Yes.
I mean that dude is he was special. For those who don't know about Ronnie Fields, just put his name in and look at his highlight because I actually thought him and Vince Carter was the same person at first. But I said, no, they can't be.
Right.
Because they kind of look similar back in their days. But yeah,
Mhm.
definitely was special, man. And I want to stick with that game along with just the KMOX shootout games, the MLK
Mhm.
games, and the times
Okay.
at Normandy. Just tell us from your point of view, how special it was to be a part of those memorable games and having those rivalries like you had with Cardinal Ritter.
Yeah, those. I mean, like I say, I just felt honored, like I said, to be a Vashon. Like I said, they welcomed me like a family, and then to play down at the Normally Christmas tournament, against Cardinal Ritter,
Man,
Jahadi, Lawrence Woods, Chris Carrawell, and then, like I say, from that was the year I actually hit the game winner. We ended up beating them by 3, and it was packed wall to wall. I mean, it
yes.
was some out of movie. I mean, like literally, like Lean on Me. It was just packed, packed, packed. I mean, big rivalries. And like I say, just the Normally Christmas tournament, the Coca-Cola shootout. I missed that. That's when they used to bring in all the top talent
Right.
to play there. And like I say, if you was the funk, you was gonna find out for sure if you really was or not, because they were bringing all the top teams here. The Mike Bibbies, and yeah, it was like I say, today, them
Remember
90s,
now? Yeah.
them 90s, it was some heat for sure. So that's why I say,
Will those days come back to St. Louis with shootouts? I mean, when the last time there was a shootout?
yeah,
Normally Christmas tournament. Like, when was the last time they had them?
I think they got them just not as big as they were anymore. But
Yeah,
I
Right.
think
that's what I was like, what happened?
yeah, a lot of the private schools taking over, the rivalries now, the CBCs and the Chaminades.
Promenades. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Now I'm feeling like I'm old. The good old days.
Them, hey, them was the day. The Sean Tunstall, Gerald Jones, and yeah, Anthony Jones. Yeah, them was Anthony Bonner. Yeah, I mean, them were the days. Sean Tunstall. Yeah, them was then we. It was the twins. Yeah, I can go on and on. Pistol. It was,
So so Vashon, as we know, the Mecca, produced a lot of great basketball players. But one thing that I have noticed outside of Anthony Bonner is that the success, the hype doesn't last as long once you get to college. Once again, just as a Vashon star. So, we got the Shamanized, Tatum made to the league, and Bradley Beal, and David Lee, and Tyler Cook now. He's playing for the Pistons and just started, a few days ago. Just from your observation, why is it that we have so many great legendary players, but it's not translating as much to being prominent stars in college and then prominent stars going to the league?
like I say, I think it goes back to Vashon can take you so far. I mean, the name, the pedigree, but at the end of the day, it comes down to you. And I don't think sometimes they be prepared, for that next level. If that makes sense. The Dukes and the KUs and the big schools, because it's more than just basketball. So I think the academics have to be there. You have to really put in that time. The coach is not playing with you. You with the funk, but they like, hey, I can get another top 5 recruit to come here next year. So, and I think that messes with our head, because we've had so much success at Vashon, to where when we get to the next level, it's hard to transition that success, or not you're not getting your way.
Mm.
And I think it impacts how their overall game, if that makes sense.
So then, do you think once they make it to college, from the B side recruits that make it to these D1 colleges, in the off season, they need to be working with a trainer and make sure the academics is up as well? Like, are they not putting as much, when you getting recruited, of course, you're going to have your best games all the time if possible. Now that you got this offer and you accepted this scholarship, it's like you don't feel the pressure as much to do well, or you do, but you're just not doing more than what you need to, because you already quote unquote got there, which was getting a scholarship.
The latter part, like you say, it's like I made it here, but they don't have the continuing push to say I want to be great, if that makes sense. So it's like we have to work twice as hard. Yeah, you got there, but what's gonna keep you ahead of the curve or ahead of that next person? And I just feel we don't have that work
So
after that.
so it sounds to me that because you were treated as rock stars in high school, you kind of felt like you already was that guy in high school, that the hunger wasn't the same when you start getting to college. Is that correct?
I totally agree. That's exactly what I'm saying because you got to look at it. Tatum has been, you've been hearing about him since probably sixth grade. But just because he's been hearing his name, up through Chaminade, he's still putting that work. I mean, like work. And it shows. I just think sometimes we just get there bare minimum, and then if we don't continue that grind. But if we do continue to grind, it's too late. We're not we're not the recruit that the coach recruited. Now he's looking at somebody else. So it's like once you get that bad taste in your mouth from the coach, it's a business. It's like, hey, we on to the next. You had your opportunity, you didn't take full advantage of it. I'm putting people in the NBA in 1 year. What you want to do? If you don't come there with that pedigree and that I'm gonna get it done, you'll be just transferring, and hope it work out.
Got a comment from a teammate of yours, Marquise Watkins. Shouts out to him. He was a guest on our show a few months back. Hope everything is good with you, Marquise. He asked, or he says, ask him who was his favorite teammates in high school. Then he has LOL. What up, bro?
Wow. Like I say,
No pressure.
like I say when I no pressure. I say I had great teammates. I mean,
He's a true point guard, y'all.
right, I'm a point guard. I love them all. But like say Bobo, Marquise, um, like them, like my whole team, they just welcomed me with open arms. I mean, that just made my transition so much easier. I mean, I really, really, truly believe that we have a brotherhood, and that means a lot. Even to this day, like I say, he's here, on the call. That means a lot just to know, that we're following each other, keeping in touch with each other. But I can't forget my guy. Not sure if anyone knows him, but yeah, Charles Murphy, Chip. He was another one that first day with Tiffany Carter. They was like my mentors. Kind of getting me acclimated. Never could forget Chip. But I just had a great supporting cast. I like to say Coach Irons, all the coaches, assistant coaches. I mean, they just was there. Whatever I needed, they had my back. I mean, it was the brotherhood, out the gate. So I really appreciate all of them.
A guy that I haven't heard much about in the last few years. Hopefully, you or Marquise or anyone else who's watching this show. Has anyone heard from Lamont Bonner?
Okay, so yeah, so Lamont Bonner, I have talked to him. I say maybe early last year. He's doing well. I don't think he's playing any more ball, anything, just raising his family. But no, he's still around. And like I said, I do keep in touch, with his uncle Anthony Bonner. We text, pretty often. So no, Lamont's doing well.
Okay, good. Yeah, he was also another guy that I enjoy seeing his style of play. He kind of like had that Chris Bosh kind of game to him.
Lefty.
Yeah, before Bosh, did his thing, I was definitely following him. And once again, shouts out to Marquise. Had a great interview with him, hearing his story be told, like we're hearing yours and hearing other special guests. Badass Vegan said, LOL, good question, Keith. Definitely was a good question, and we hope everyone who is watching is enjoying the platform Sports Talk Show. This is what we do every week, y'all. We have great conversations, just we touch all the things that we can during these hours, and we hope that y'all are enjoying it, and y'all will go ahead and follow us. All the information is on the screen below, so no excuses. You'll know where you know where we are at: Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram. Show us love, give us that follow everywhere as we have more and more guests on the way. So got into high school, got into the college. Let's talk about briefly coaching your son and your daughter. What made you get into the coaching? How does it feel coaching your own kids?
It's a funny story, to be honest, how I got into coaching. I actually put my son at the Y, and he didn't have a coach. So I pretty much, pretty much from the day he didn't have a coach, nobody volunteered. I said, I didn't want to coach my son initially, because you want him, somebody else to coach him, and, because half the time they don't listen to you because it's just your voice. They want to hear a different voice. You're telling them the same thing, but that's Fred said this, so I'm gonna listen to him. But Dad said the same thing, and I'm not gonna listen to him. So I didn't initially want to coach my son or my daughter, but like I said, he didn't have a coach initially. So that's how I actually got started in the coaching, and I love it. I'm so glad I jumped in when I did. It's just a joy to be able to watch them grow and learn and listen and just absorb. And then, like I say, for me to still be playing ball, it just is a joy for them to come watch me play. And they might think Dad might know a little something because he still plays, to hit a couple of shots here and there. So it kind of just, it's just bittersweet just to be able to kind of coach them and watch them grow.
Is there anything about your kids' game that reminds you of yourself?
Yeah, I would say my son, little AJ, he can shoot. He
Okay.
can really shoot. He'll be so small, and I'll be like, we'll play out in the driveway, and we'll play around the world, and he might be at the first spot, and I might be 5 spots in front of him. He'd just hit 7 to 8 in a row, and he'd be talking smack. So
well, your trash talk already, huh?
he only 9, and then my daughter, she is good, but she let him kind of get under her skin, if that makes sense. So it's like she could really go ahead and beat him, but she just won't. She's not a closer, so I'm working on her to just close the deal. I know it's your brother. I know he think he's really good, but you good too.
Mm-hmm.
I just try to, and then I got another daughter. Like I got twin girls, and my other daughter, she run track. She didn't get in on the basketball side, so she running track. So it's just a joy, just like I said, to watch them grow and just to see bits and pieces of you, in them.
Your daughter that runs track, is she in a track club?
Yeah, she in a track club.
Which one?
Put me on the spot. She just started like 2 weeks ago.
What?
all something, but no, she got her own little thing going on. So I'm happy for her because she had just been watching them, and nobody coming to watch me do nothing.
Mm-hmm.
She got, she's falling in love with track. So
okay, good. I'm a proud auntie of a track person.
Sydney.
She's part of the Pals Track Club.
What up, Sydney?
But I got hip to that world a couple of years ago because I know track clubs was out there. And it's a big thing. And I know about basketball, but I got thrown into the track thing, so I'm like, okay, yeah, it's competitive too. Yeah. That parental support need to be there too. It's not always there like it should be, but
Yeah. And that's one thing I can say too. I enjoy and that's what I guess going back to the parents thing. I just enjoy just being there for my kids. I don't, even though I'm doing real estate and just being busy, I don't miss functions. I don't miss games. Like I'm there. So I think that means a lot to the kids just to know that they got their family there to watch them and support them.
Most definitely. Gerald Jones says, actually, we were not 4 or 5-star athletes. We was just a better team with a great coach. We earned an athletic scholarship because of our hard work. More importantly, we all graduated from college and became better citizens, and you are a prime example of who we all are.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
You see all these roses you getting while you alive? Shoot, you got a whole rose garden. I mean, people standing throwing them roses at you.
Definitely noticed for sure. Appreciate the love. Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man, most definitely,
So,
most
so
definitely.
another question for you, besides coaching and real estate, what is next for love? What you got next? What's your next goal or next project you're working on? I want to get accomplished.
Wow.
Oh, that ain't too deep, is it? I mean, I would just eat steak and potatoes,
That's a deep
throwing a
one.
little asparagus with it, you know.
That's a deep one. No, but what I want to do now is, like I say, now that I've accomplished a few different things in my life, I just want to kind of give back to my kids. I just feel that a lot of times we don't have the blueprint. Our kids don't, of early successes. So now I'm, teaching my kids, a little bit about the stock market. So instead of the grandparents buying them, toys and gifts over Christmas, I just say, hey, give me some money. I put in a 529 plan. I bought them a few pieces of stock of Apple, just so they can watch it, just kind of see how it go up and down. Not a whole lot of money. And then another thing I want to be able to, give my kids, some property, as they graduate from college. I mean, from college, they all have one piece of property, where they can all, have that residual income, whatever they do with it, fine. But at least it's like I'm trying to set them up for success out the gate. So I think a lot of times we don't be set up out the gate. And I know it's like, well, I work for mine, you work for yours, but sometimes, we got to give them a little boost and just try to show them if you continue this path, you can be successful as well.
So, in regards to the residual income, to the multiple streams of income, was that a mindset, a mentality that you already had before the pandemic hit, or was it because of the pandemic that you started having this mentality and you wanted to really instill it into them now because of what's going on now in the world?
Yeah, actually a little bit of both. But yeah, the pandemic definitely has given us time to just reflect on life. Because I mean, we've been shut down like so almost 18 months. And just with everybody's jobs going up and down, you gotta have a nest egg. You gotta always have just thinking outside the box. What's next? If all of our jobs go away, what's next for us? So just trying to, just have them think bigger and not just get to the let me find a job for 30 years and retire and hope all is well. Life is too short. So I'm just trying to instill in them, hey, it's other ways to make money. You can still, live a great life. If even if you don't make it to the Olympics or the WNBA or NBA, you still can have a really good life and not be stressed and not be a professional athlete. So like I say, just trying to get them a different light. If they go to NBA or WNBA or track, great. But just having something to fall back on, I think is bigger and better.
That's what's up. So,
Yeah.
seems like over these last few years, real estate has really, you talking about like stocks, people have really bought in to doing real estate. What made you go ahead and get into it as well?
Yeah, another bittersweet moment, man. I got it. My dad, he must be on the interview too, because I really, when my dad passed in 19, I was in a dark place. I really wasn't, I really didn't want to do anything. I just kind of off to myself and real estate. Actually talking to my niece, Jasmine, we just was talking about it one day at my brother's birthday party, and we just was like, I'm gonna get into real estate, and I just needed something to do. I just needed something to kind of keep my mind going. Like I said, when my dad passed, and it just kind of put me in a dark space. So real estate kept me busy. Just studying for the exam and just getting ready. And I'm just so happy and thankful that I did it. I mean, my life has changed dramatically, just from jumping in the real estate game and just using my relationships that I've built over the years. I mean, it's it's just awesome. I mean, I just can't really say anymore because real estate, like I say, it's a relationship, and everyone needs somewhere to lay their head, so it's a win-win, for me. So I'm just grateful and thankful that.
Is that me?
Nah, that was him. Let's make sure that his connection is still good. Anthony, you still there?
First-time home buyers or
There we go.
second-time buyers or whatever the case may be, I just enjoy just giving back. So
That's what's up, man. And just for a second, we did kind of lose your signal, so we kind of missed just a
I
few
think we lost
words.
him again. You there?
Hold on now. Let's make sure that we get him back in. Yeah, his signal went out for a second. All right, I think
Okay, I'm back.
there we go. Yep.
Okay.
Welcome back in. No, it wasn't you, Bunny. You all good. It was Anthony's signal. Kind of went out for a second. So yeah, you're straight. But yeah, man. Yeah, so that's definitely a interesting story. And like you said, your father is part of the interview right now, because it's
Yeah,
obviously that he, made a huge impact, and that's what all parents should do. Not just
right.
fathers, but all parents should be able to make a positive impact, to
Yeah.
their kids, man. That's what that's what it's all about. That's why you are a parent. So
Yep.
this definitely been incredible, man. Got a comment here from let's see, who was this? Let's see, is it Bianca D. Williams, that evangelist? Bianca D. Williams says, "Shout out to the best real estate agent, Earl and Bianca Williams."
Appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, we just
And
got them a house last week, so yeah, I appreciate that.
there we go. Then badass Vegan said, "Told love, you gotta get rid of that dial up internet."
Oh, she got
That's
jumped.
that Jordan. That's that Jordan.
Yeah, he on that what he on the hot spot right now.
Oh man, shots fired. Shots fired.
Hey,
We'll get them later.
you all recall back in the day how the AOL was, the AOL dial up?
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. I think on my AOL account.
Oh,
Well, the
wow.
AL dial-up, y'all could have been rich if y'all must have had multiple lines. We only had one line in our house for a long time. So when that internet was on, that line was busy. You
Yeah,
could
see,
not call.
kids don't know how good they got it right now.
Man.
One ways, pager, no social media. I mean, you couldn't even. They had to really find you if they wanted you. You couldn't. Yeah, this social media stuff showing everywhere you at. Yeah, you couldn't even be found back in them early '80s and '90s.
Right.
And I mean, back in the day, you had to make sure it wasn't no one on the phone, so you can go ahead and use the internet.
Right, right.
Mm-hmm.
People had no idea. Lord, Lord,
Yeah,
Lord.
they have no clue. No clue.
No clue on the struggle.
So before we go, I mentioned when I was bringing you in, introducing you in, knowing that you won awards like All-American nominee and the Taco Bell Scholar Athlete of the Week and first team All Conference. And how did that make you feel, knowing that you was able to accomplish those feats?
It just makes me feel good, and just being able to have a testimony to my kids. And like I said, we always talk about it. Just put in the work. And just let the pieces fall where they fall. I always been more of a laid back. Don't stress off of the. Control what you can control, and the stuff you can't control, don't worry about it. Because stuff's gonna happen in life, stuff you can't control, and that's just how I always been. I just think that kind of kept me level headed over my career. It's just stuff gonna happen. You can't control it. Just keep it moving, and then do your best the next time. But you gotta always strive to do better. You just can't assume that things are just going to work in your favor, because it doesn't work that way. It's just not life. It's not realistic.
And from one Irons coach to another, let's talk about the greatness of Tony Irons, as now he recently just won state with the V. It was like 4 out the last 5 years or so, something like that. What are your thoughts on what he has been doing for the V? Did you see this coming? As you knew him as a little kid, did you see something in him back in the day? And you just say, you know what, I saw this coming. Just what's your overall thoughts on his success that he's done for the V now, and just bringing it once again back to national prominence?
Yeah, shout out to Tony Irons. I remember we used to pick him up in our huddles. He was probably 5 years old back when I was playing. We used to pick him up in the huddles. And he's been around basketball, forever. So I really think that was a great choice, and then like I say, just having that pedigree behind his dad, he's like one, like the perfect fit. He knows how to get up in the kids and push them, I think it's pretty much the same blueprint, just a little tweak here and there, but he's definitely, got something special, over at the V, and definitely proud of, the success that he's having, even after, Irons 2.0. So definitely kudos, to Tony, and Coach Irons, for just, bringing up another, great, nice young man. So another, just kudos. That's all I can say, and keep it going.
Keep it going.
Because everyone, like I say again, everyone is getting scholarships. That's one thing we do. We do give out scholarships, but at the end of the day, they gotta continue to push through to get it.
That's the next thing that I want to see from my fellow Vashonites is don't just get the scholarship, the acclaim, but let's take that to the next level. Let's start getting these guys, being on ESPN, excuse me, all the time, and going to the league. You know what I'm saying? Let's not just get the claim uh the fame just from being a high school
The
star.
local fame.
Yeah,
Or
you know
the
what I'm saying? Let's
state tampon.
let's aim for bigger and better things, man. And with that being said, that's our get to know his story from Anthony Love. Was there anything that you want to discuss from our earlier topics before we end this episode of the Platform Sports Talk Show?
Like I said, first I just want to say, thank you all for tuning in. Family, friends, Vashon alumni, Fred and team, Bunny. Thanks for having me. And I guess I just want to just have one, quick. This actually wasn't a topic that we discussed earlier, but just real quick, what do you guys think of the verdict of the George Floyd, and then where do you guys see us moving forward? And like I said, I know we're not done. We still have to actually get the verdict from the judge, which I think is going to be, which could still be scary. You can mess around and just see 12 years, just because he don't have to do 2/3, and he doesn't have previous history, so that's gonna kind of get his sentencing down. So just curious, what do you guys think about everything that happened yesterday?
You go ahead, Bunny.
With the verdict, is I know some people were saying, it's justice or all that. I don't say it's justice justice got served, but at the same time, it's sad that we had to come to this point to hold our breath to see if a verdict was gonna come not guilty. But also the work is not done. Coincidentally, unfortunately, right before this verdict got read, another black young lady got shot and killed by the police. Same day, hours apart. And here we go again. So again, I'm just also don't look at a verdict, but what is the sentence? Because you can say up to for these 3 counts, up to that many things, because they could still give this man a minimum 1 year on these counts, 3 years. That ain't nothing. This man's life is not coming back. And shout out to the jury selection. That helped too, because I know sometimes people forget. These jury pools make a big difference besides these judges. Going forward, we still got a lot of work to do. I shouldn't say we. When black people don't want to get marginalized and done wrong and not getting treated equally like other races, it's still a lot of work that has to be done though. And I just don't want people to take their foot off the brake. Like, okay, we got one. That's not enough. And it should not be happening. Like I said, we just went through this yesterday. Get one verdict and get another murder the same day. So I just want change. It's slowly one verdict, y'all. All these hundreds of killings from police on blacks or brown people. One guilty verdict. We still got a long way to go to get even some decent or equal treatment.
Agreed. We got a long way to go.
Yeah, I totally agree as well. It was a stepping stone. It was a huge step because accountability finally showed, and that's what we have been begging for so many damn years, was accountability. So I hope that this shows to other cops who are just like Derek Chauvin that you cannot continue to get away with what you are doing and feel like you can get off easy anymore. We hope that this can set a precedent for more accountability for those cops And as Bunny said, unfortunately, 4 hours after of the verdict, a young 15-year-old girl got shot and killed. But this needs to set the bar to change mindsets in everyone's mind.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's mindset that you cannot continue to do the things that you have been doing that's been causing anger, frustration. I mean, how many people who's watching this stream right now were biting their nails, nervously anticipating that we could possibly be getting a non-guilty verdict because of what we have seen these last 10 years. That needs to change, in which there should be a better expectation that when you do wrong, you're going to be accounted for doing wrong. That's where the system needs to change right there. Mm-hmm. Is that accountability is being more, is getting put on more. That's going to start affecting people's mindsets. And what's up for me getting the gun? Let me get the taser. Let me get the taser. Let me see if we can, let me use the skills that I was trained on to handle escalated issues, except for the first thing I had to do is get a gun.
Correct.
That's what yesterday, I hope, can start happening. Because we can't expect things to all of a sudden change in just one day, or as you saw, in 4 hours. But it has to be those small steps, like what we saw yesterday. Yes, we cannot celebrate like it's a new year and, like, oh, justice served, let's go party, and you know what I'm saying? But we need to have a precedent set that now is going to be in your mind. If I point this gun, if I escalate the issue by talking down to this black man, to this black woman, to this, whoever it is this going to make the situation better or worse? And let's also, we have to have accountability in regards to being put in positions as well. That's all part of the mindset. We had a talk with Miss Roberta McWoods a while back about knowing how to handle situations. Let's start having more classes. Who else do we speak to, Bunny? Just about having more classes about knowing how to react when police are present. Knowing how to react when you get pulled over. Stuff like that needs to be put more into the forefront. But overall, I just hope that yesterday can be a start of knowing to think smarter before you start doing something that you will live to regret, like Derek Chauvin did yesterday.
Appreciate that. Yeah, that's all I had. I really appreciate you guys bringing me on and talking about sports and how I got here. So I'm feeling honored. Thank you so much.
Yeah, man, it's definitely been a pleasure, man. Great interview for those watching. We hope that y'all enjoyed yourselves. Anthony, stay on after the stream ends. Bunny, once again, incredible job.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Appreciate it.
To everyone watching, once again, follow us on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, on YouTube. Subscribe on YouTube. Click on that.
Good old bell.
Because anytime we go live,
you will be notified.
There we go. Shouts out to third co-host Stan. Couldn't be on tonight. He should be back next week. Shouts out to Joe. Great conversation. Getting into it. Getting animated about Matt Carpenter and the St. Louis Cardinals. But hey, you know, we love the team. We just want to see the team show more consistency,
Do better. Yeah.
do better. No matter if it's Carpenter, no matter if it's
Neil,
whoever it is, you know.
Carlson, DeJong, anybody. Just be
Right.
better, y'all.
Let's
That's all.
go.
That's all we have.
Let's go. And yeah, thank Mark Loggins, gives the clapping emojis. Don Love says great job, cuz. Thank you everyone for tuning in once again for the comments.
Appreciate y'all.
Stay tuned for our guests next week. And weeks down the line, we have another but incredible upcoming guest on the way. This is the Platform Sports Talk Show when it's about sports.
You know what? It becomes our business.
And business continues to pick up. We out. We out. Right. We out. Ba-da-da-da-da-da.